21 hours ago. What was this?
Protect Obama. You don't know what the you're talking about. I hope you can get your refund from whatever dog training school you're getting your law degree.
Yada, 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 yada. I'm saying...
Sheesh!
That him saying that my argument benefits him is a lie that he repeats over and over as a rhetorical argument. Just like
you didn't even let him explain it.
I believe it.
If you let him explain it, he would probably explain why it's not a lie. Kind of like when you said that you were lying about Mitch McConnell. You're not in a position to allow anything. You are the beta in this conversation. We'll take what we tell you. That's the way this goes.
Take it from a 10 to
very nice.
Like a
good.
No, I know it's very nice. I know it's very nice, but you're getting blown the fuck out. I hope your future clients aren't watching this here. You will be the loneliest goddamn lawyer in the world.
Okay,
you're so adorable.
I know exactly where we got derailed. I was bringing up Thomas, Bork, and Kavanaugh as norm violations.
So I want to address that.
The pure politics that were being played, and it was undermining legitimacy of the court. And there are people who still have these same beliefs about these justices because of the insanity that happened through their confirmations. And of course, Bork didn't make it, but Thomas and Kavanaugh, this has followed them. I mean, do you guys deny that?
No, I don't think it's. But I think first of all, we are accepting the frame of reference in which Brett Kavanaugh and Clarence Thomas are totally vindicated on the allegation. Let's not get into it. Let's assume that they are, right? So I'm happy to address that. I want to address what Desert said and about the relative merits of passing a law versus a rule, and then I'll address what you said. So on the difference between a law and a rule here, or like a norm violation, I actually did say that the distinction that you're pointing out inures to our benefit, and I'm not lying. I actually do believe it, right? So you spent some of your opening saying, well, what Mitch McConnell did was within the rules, and therefore it's not as bad. And if within the rules you mean like he has the authority to do it, then you're absolutely correct about that. But Congress absolutely has the authority to pass laws. I mean, those are within the rules too.
There's a difference between passing a law and making with the
I know there's a difference, and now let me explain why, in the context of court expansion or court packing, as I understand the norm violation, why the law passing is more virtuous than what Mitch McConnell did. The reason for that is as follows: the decision by Mitch McConnell
was done unilaterally or just with some people in the Senate. I think he might be able to just do it on his own. A law passing requires a majority of Congress, which is more representative of the American opinion, right?
Not the virtue of bicameralism and presentment, which has some democratic legitimacy, right?
Correct.
You got to go through two branches of Congress, present it to the president, the law is then subject to judicial review.
Sign, pass,
what Mitch McConnell did was the discretionary act of one person, doesn't have the virtue of bicameralism, doesn't have the virtue of presentment to the president, and doesn't have the virtue of judicial review.
Correct.
So in that sense, it's a worse norm violation. Why? Because
you're explaining Civics 101 to
Why is this fucking retard laughing? Did he not understand any of the words that he just said?
It doesn't have the democratic.
That isn't actually in the process.
It doesn't have
because you're explaining Civics 101 to him.
It doesn't have the democratic.
That isn't actually in the process.
It doesn't have the democratic legitimacy of the process of lawmaking. That's why. By the way, guys, that's why we have the process of lawmaking to vindicate. The states and the Senate.
The Senate could have overturned that, right?
Yeah,
if the Senate wanted to,
when
they
you say
could have.
Senate could have overturned it by how? By ousting McConnell as the speaker and replacing him with somebody else. Like what?
McConnell.
When you say could have, you mean they technically have the authority to do so? Even if you're right about that.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. Like I'm curious. Walk me through that. How would they have done that?
So if there is enough vote to say no, we do actually want to hear this, and they can go above and beyond what the Senate pro temp, I think it's called,
majority
leader.
Is that even true? I thought the Senate pro temp. I thought they decide exclusively what legislation you can call a vote on. Can other people vote on calling a vote? I'm not sure. I don't think they. I don't. I could be wrong.
Where they will actually proceed with it if they actually want.
It's what you're saying is like it's technically possible, and yeah, we would grant that it's technically possible. But even if in this case it were the case that like the Senate, we can take what happened with Mitch McConnell as the implicit consent of the overall body of the Senate. Again, that's just one body versus the other branch of Congress, the House of Representatives. And wait, let me just finish.
Advice and consent of the Senate to appoint scopes.
Well, no, you're just repeating the claim which we agreed to, which is they have power, right? But in our context, the power is 1-to-1 because we have the power to create a law. So you can't just be like, well, Mitch McConnell had the power, he had the power, he had the power. We agree he had the power. Congress, along with the president signing on to the law, also has the power. So on power, it's equal. What I'm trying to tell you is the virtues of bicameralism is present in lawmaking. The virtue of presentment to the president is present in the lawmaking, and the virtue of judicial review is present in lawmaking. It's not present in what Mitch McConnell did. So in what sense is the norm violation?
I can't do this anymore. I don't know. I should cover drama slop. I can't like everything. Like these are things where like every single thing Pisco is saying is like just so fucking obviously fucking true. Like why do you even have to? Especially if this retard is going to law school. But I mean, if he's like a Republican guy, none of that shit matters anyway. It's just like so obviously true. I don't know. It's just whatever.
Worse in the case of legislative court backing versus non-legislative, whatever court backing, whatever you want to call it.
But the problem here, you're painting Mitch McConnell as a rogue actor who just acted unilaterally. That's why we're putting all the focus on him. But look, take it back to the Constitution. The president nominates. The Senate has the power to give advice and consent. You know what's the inverse of that? They also have the power to withhold their advice and consent.
Like what a fucking like. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm not watching over this. This is not a serious person. He would never, ever hold that same energy if the shoe were on the other foot. That, well, actually, if you read it strictly, it's with the advice and consent. Well, they don't ever have to actually advise or consent. They could just never, ever appoint any Supreme Court nomination ever. Like, that should be the question. Do you think that the Senate has the power to let every Supreme Court justice die of old age and just never hear the president's appointment for any other one? You can just go infinitely and never, ever, ever hear another one again. That would be okay to you, right? It's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid. He doesn't believe this. None of them believe it. It's these guys approach politics like a puzzle game where it's like, okay, well, on the output, I have literally the most retarded possible thing ever that a conservative says, and now I have to figure out how to justify it. That's every single conservative approach to politics.
It's Dungeons and Dragons rule lawyer.
Literally, yes. Like, he rolled a fucking 27, and my AC is like 16 or 26 or whatever, and I need to fight for my life on why I should get like a +2 or whatever to try to avoid this fucking hit. That's what it is, and it's just the most retarded fucking shit in the fucking universe. The enemy is level 16, and for him to be that level, he's probably at least like 70 years old, so I want to do a roll for ocular health check, because if he has cataracts, he should have a -2 to hit, because I think that it's dark in this dungeon, and then I should fucking blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's so fucking stupid, bro.
Mitch McConnell, was he speaking as a rogue actor, or was he speaking as the leader of the body that has the power?
Yeah, granted he did. Grant that the what happened to Merrick Garland has the full consent of the body of the Senate. I just granted it to you, right? So let's not bring that up anymore. The rogue
if that's the case, then I don't ever want to hear this guy ever complain about anything the president of the United States ever does, ever. Because isn't it the case that that Congress could just impeach him? They could, right? Couldn't Congress just impeach him if they don't like what he's doing, right? They could, right? So you can't complain about anything the president ever does, ever, in your entire life, because Congress could just impeach him, right? It's a standard that they would never hold in any other part of the government. Oh, my God.
Actor thing off the table, I'll give it to you, that it had the whole consent of the implied consent of the Senate. You don't have the House of Representatives, you don't have the president, you don't have judicial review. Those are virtues not present in the norm violation of what Mitch McConnell did that are present in legislative court expansion. So I'm going to ask again, in what sense is it worse to do legislative court expansion, given that it has the virtues that what Mitch McConnell did lacks?
I can tell exactly, because there's a million things
that
could be done.
We need like a treason against the Senate charge.
Jesus.
Where if you just like
yes,
give
Anakin?
up your okay, listen. If you just give up all of your fucking power to rule in the Senate, I don't know, you get fucking kicked out or something, because it's so
you know what? The Supreme Court. Fuck. Is it what is it called? Fuck. There's a name for this. I don't know if it's explicitly in the Constitution. I think it might be. You're not like branches of the government. I think are constitutionally, or the Supreme Court said, are forbidden from allocating their. Oh, it's the non-delegation doctrine. Is that in the Constitution, or is that? Is that just like a Supreme Court idea or understanding?
Half of the Senate has just given up. Like, they just don't care. And there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah. Hold on. Wow. Oh, what? Are we not? Constitution.congress.gov is not loading. Did Trump just take it offline?
He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it anymore. It's in his office. Go look at it.
All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate, House of Representatives. That's Article 1, Section 1. The non-delegation is rooted in the certain separation of powers principle, and limiting Congress power to delegation, non-delegation. Okay. So it's more like an interpretation thing of the Constitution. But like, you're not allowed to take powers or give powers from one that's like explicitly delegated to one branch of government to another branch.
To the other.
Like, I think it would be considered unconstitutional for the Congress to pass a law saying the Speaker and the House of Representatives shall be the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Armed Forces, because that's like an explicit thing delegated to the President of the United States. Or you can't pass a law saying the President of the United States shall have the final word on law or what is constitutional or not, because that's expressly delegated. Well, kind of, to the Supreme Court. That might not be the best example. That's a Marbury v. Madison thing. But still, like, you can't delegate away powers from one branch to another. And so you could argue that the Congress has abdicated their responsibilities and acting illegally, and they all need to go to bed.
Send them to jail.
Whoa!
You can't say jail?
Exactly, because there's a million things that could be done through bicameralism and presentment that could be egregious violations of rights of Americans, but it was done legislatively. It was done through the process. It wasn't done through just one house of the Congress. It was done through the correct legislative process. And this actually, it goes back to our debate we had in the American moral proposition.
So I'm sorry, is he saying it would be unethical, immoral, or contradictory to the United States ethos to ever expand the court? We're locked in at 9. Locked in it. You can never, ever, ever change the composition of the Supreme Court ever. You can never do it. Ever. It would be just violative of what it even means for us to have a democracy.
Where your view of that was basically, well, so long as it's consistent with the Constitution and the laws, then that's consistent with the American moral proposition. I hardcore disagree with that and say there is a higher calling, a higher foundation that the country was built on, the moral proposition of the Declaration, which actually creates a higher standard than simply what...
The moral proposition of the Declaration. The Declaration of Independence is fucking wipe my ass with it. What do you mean? We have a constitutional republic, we have a constitution that is the bedrock of how the government functions. What the fuck are you? If you got to dig out the Declaration of fucking Independence to make some legal argument, bro, you've lost the plot so much. Get the fuck out of here, stupid.
what the government says and doesn't.
Yeah, but how is the Declaration of Independence relevant?
It's not. Thank you. It's not at all. What the fuck?
Real quick, I'll finish this out. Because this is a central argument of what you're saying of why it's more moral to do this legislatively than what McConnell did. But you're leaving out the complete other part of the analysis here, that just because something is done through the legislative process doesn't mean it's a
But I'm not saying that, though. I obviously don't believe that just because it goes through legislative process, it's good. What we're trying to
You're
compare...
saying it's more democratic.
Yeah,
You're just saying it's more democratic to the extent that democracy is a virtue.
No.
And I would also... just real quick, I'm sorry, and I will send this in all seriousness. I will send this to you guys because when Desert said that basically the Senate could have worked around Mitch McConnell, you are conflating that with the House of Representatives discharge petition, which is relatively easier compared to the theoretical one that can be done with the United States Senate. The attempt by the Senate to sidestep the Senate Majority Leader and bring a nomination to the floor without the Senate Majority Leader's consent is
very tough.
More complicated. And Fox News had a really good write-up at the time that all of this was going on about how there was virtually no shot of sidestepping McConnell because it had to go through 2 rounds of a filibuster-proof majority. Okay, it's just
McConnell has agenda control. It's really tough to do it.
It is virtually impossible.
Good job.
So just want to put that out there. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Well, let's focus that in right there, because you lead us all to believe that it is better to do bicameralism, to do presentment. That is a better process than just Mitch McConnell or even speaking on behalf of the Senate. You lead us to believe that that's a better thing to do, and which is why it justifies what you're saying.
No.
And it makes it. But is the variable now that it just makes it more democratic? But you fully concede that
No.
it's more democratic. Doesn't mean
No. So you're totally confused. Okay. So we're not saying that everything that goes through a particular process is good or bad, right? We're just saying to the extent that we're going to compare relative norm violations, presumably we would think less of norm violations that are unilateral actions. The more unilateral, the worse, right? If you have a norm violation that's consented to by multiple branches, the People's House, the Senate, and
like this is just so stupid. It's so obviously true. Like you shouldn't have to debate or argue this, right? If you're going to do a quote unquote norm violation that the Congress passes a law over, the president doesn't veto, the Supreme Court has judicial review, you are acting with the full faith and power of all 3 branches constitutionally checked of the United States government, okay? Whatever norm violation you might accuse there of being, certainly that is far less egregious to the bedrock principles of our democracy than a single man in a single part of the government making some decision. It's just that, why do you have to say that? It's so obviously fucking true. Hold on, I need a quick Hassan break to calm my blood.
Yeah, Tom Steyer is the only candidate that has said he would protect trans youth in the state. He speaks fluent woke. Okay, he speaks fluent woke, but people don't trust him. Javier Becerra, on the other hand, is dog shit. Okay, Javier Becerra is a representation of all of the billionaires, not in California, but across the fucking nation, and all the mega corporations. I met Tom Steyer at his rally in San Francisco. It was a quick interaction. I can tell he truly seemed genuine and authentic. He stuck around and talked to everyone. No secrecy or team rushing him along. That feels significant to me for a governor's race. Yeah, Tom also has a certain presence compared to the other candidates.
Why is he still dem bashing? It's over.
Whoa!
It seems. He needs to get behind the fucking candidate.
Oh, you believed that? You believed that?
That's what you should do.
You believed that? They thought they were gonna vote blue no matter who. How many times are they gonna be?
I fell for it
again. How many times are you going to be fooled?
Tom Steyer is in favor of abolishing ICE, holding ICE accountable, all this stuff. Why not Ramsey Robinson? Because Ramsey Robinson is a 1%. Fuck! Because PG&E is not spending $10 million unseating Ramsey Robinson. They're spending it against Tom Steyer. Okay? And they're spending it for Javier Becerra. And those are the top 2 motherfuckers right now on the Democrat side. California has an open primary system, it's a jungle primary. So 2 Republicans can be at the top, or 2 Democrats can be at the top of the ticket and get to the goddamn general election in the runoffs. Okay? So if you want to block out the Republican, the Trump-endorsed Republican in this race, and have tremendous down-ballot consequences for the general in a positive way, again, vote for Tom Steyer. Same with Nithya Raman. If you want to block out Spencer Pratt, vote for Nithya Raman. If you want to block...
Oh, we're very strategic with our voting now. Very strategic. Very lesser of 2 evils. Okay.
Block out the British dipshit, or the gay Proud Boy cop. Gay cop Proud Boy. So the British dipshit is the one who's going to be fucking probably the Republican.
Also the president and also the courts get to weigh in on that. We're going to think of that norm violation, all else equal. Yeah.
Who is this top middle guy? He's not a lawyer, right? The top left guy's in law school, or what?
In better terms.
I think your argument just fell apart because you're saying it's worse when it's unilateral. But now you're saying, well, if we get everyone on board with the norm violation, then that makes it better.
Obviously, right?
Yeah. No
Right? Wait.
Did not say we should bloodlet. It's not as good as what Doctor's saying we should splint with a broken bone.
Stop. Stop, guys, stop. So we're noticing, but you would agree, norm violation for Mitch McConnell to categorically reject any nomination of the president, even though he has the power to do it, right?
I think you obliterated that guy in a WIC panel a long time ago. Oh. Well, I don't remember.
Norm violation?
Do that one more time?
Even Republicans
No.
agree it's a norm violation. I mean, you're going to look like a fool if you don't accept that.
Because Mitch McConnell said it himself that the Democrats would regret them doing that for the lower federal judiciary. Then the Democrats are now regretting
No,
it.
you're
because
conflating.
the federal
You're
judiciary.
conflating two different. No, you're conflating two different things. But I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, it gives me the perfect segue for this. So what you're talking about is McConnell said that when Harry Reid invoked the nuclear option for lower judicial and executive appointees, that he would rue the day because he would do the same thing eventually.
Isn't that kind of, though, the exact opposite of what happened in a way? Because Harry Reid's issue was that they weren't allowing them to actually get any of Obama's judges through. They wouldn't even have the hearings. And now McConnell turned around and did the same thing, but still not letting them have the hearings, right? So I don't even know if...
Now, what's interesting is that's not the logic he used to withhold
Correct.
Merrick Garland's hearing. That was the two were unrelated, okay? Well, wait a minute. Well, hang on. The two are unrelated. He didn't cite Harry Reid as the reason why he refused to grant President Obama's nominee, not just Merrick Garland, but any of them a hearing. But the second point, I'm glad you brought this up because you told me earlier that, and I want to make sure I understand this correctly, and we can go back and we can listen to the VOD if need be. But can you all remind me what you said about Mitch McConnell's use of his authority as the Senate Majority Leader and why it's not as bad as Democrats changing a law? Can you summarize that again for me?
Yes or no?
I think Desert said it.
Because changing the law this way is like bloodletting to try and fix a broken bone. You have other tools before you get to the judicial court packing that you can use before.
Okay.
So what you're doing is making a proposal that will be constitutional even, but it will unravel the current constitutional framework that we have set up post-Civil War.
Because we're changing a law.
Because you're adding court seats.
I understand, but
what does that have to do with any... The court seats are not written in the Constitution. What is your problem?
Well, what I'm saying is you drew a meaningful distinction between it's worse when Democrats go to change a law to affect their ends as opposed to what Mitch McConnell did, which is just exert his authority as the Senate Majority Leader, right? Isn't that what you said?
This is stupid because what if we can just say, oh, what if we changed the law? What if we passed an amendment that just, I don't know, got rid of the Fourth Amendment?
Dude, you're not tracking.
So again, I'm sorry. So let me just skip to it. The point is that in order for Mitch McConnell to take these seats, it was a process. First, he had to deny President Obama a hearing 11 months before an election. But the other thing is he had to change things. It wasn't just the norm violation. He had to actively change Senate rules and invoke the nuclear option for the filibuster.
Right.
In order to get Gorsuch into the vacancy left by Scalia. So here's my other issue. I need you all to explain to me why it is virtuous or acceptable for not only McConnell to deny Obama a hearing, but to then change the rules to affect his end. Because the reality is, if he didn't change the rules and invoke the filibuster nuclear option to allow a simple majority to get his justice confirmed, Neil Gorsuch would never have sat on the Supreme Court.
Yep.
But you all don't give a fuck about.
Hold on. Now, did you ever consider...
Oh, I didn't see that. That's the first time I'm hearing of it.
Let's go.
That. So reconcile that for me.
Well, now we're back into this is the rogue Mitch McConnell who's just deciding what.
No, that's not what Josiah just said. Please stop. We're not. So please, Gen Z.
So
Josiah.
or is it not?
Or they're just not even gonna...
Let's be clear about that, right?
Okay. So unilateral could be
Okay, no, they're just not even gonna understand. I need that soundboard next.
indexed. So unilateral could be indexed to two things. We just explained to you. I don't know what your response was. That in fact, Mitch McConnell did exercise unilateral control here, and if he had changed his mind, the party would have changed his mind too. And in fact, that it's difficult. There were two on the record Republicans who said that they would have they supported hearings. This is Susan Collins and one other senator. But other Republican senators were meeting with Merrick Garland. They had just approved of him years before on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, and he probably would have gotten through if they actually had hearings for it. But even putting that aside, right? Like unilateral could be with respect to Mitch McConnell, and that would be a totally fine argument to make. And I think that Josiah explained perfectly why that would follow. But it could also be unilateral in the branch sense. Unilateral action by the Senate versus bicameralism, and then another branch of government assigned onto it. So it's not just.
But it's more than that. It's more than that. You are trying to present what McConnell did as just an exercise in discretion when the reality is he had to change rules. It's not a law that he had to change, but if the filibuster were in effect, Neil Gorsuch would not have been seated.
That's correct.
So again, if Merrick Garland can just deny a hearing for any of President Obama's nominees, and he can change. What did I say? Sorry. Yes. If McConnell can deny a hearing for any of Obama's nominees, and then he has to change the rules in order to get Trump's nominees through, why is it so far beyond the pale for us to change a law that's been changed before? I want you to explain to me why the line of acceptability stops right past McConnell and ends with what we're proposing to do.
Because it goes back to my original point, which is I'm happy to concede that turnabout is fair play, but you guys are not proposing turnabout. You are proposing, and we'll get to it later. I hope we do. But you're proposing a 4-seat pack to the court to take to take a majority.
Can you please respond?
What would be the turnabout? What would be the turnabout from McConnell invoking the nuclear option for Supreme Court justices?
That Democrats, when they have the power, they can also have the nuclear option, which they did do.
The nuclear option's already in effect. It's done. It's over with. They don't need to do that.
They have no obligation to undo that, to restore the norm. No, this is a new rule.
I see. So I want to make sure I understand this correctly, and I love how beautifully you have tried to gerrymander, pun intended, this. So McConnell prevented President Obama from having any hearing for Merrick Garland or anybody. You graciously say that Democrats can do that. But in order for McConnell to do what he's done and give you the court you like, McConnell actually had to go another step and change Senate rules. And graciously, what you'll grant me is, okay, well, you don't have to change rules anymore. You can basically act in the parameters that McConnell created.
Yeah,
but the rule change has already been done, Gen Z. So how about this? Wait a minute. So here's my counter proposal. Merrick Garland was denied a hearing, so we can deny Donald Trump any hearing in the future. And because McConnell changed things,
you're already failing that. Because,
wait a minute. Because
he can't even do that?
Because Mitch McConnell changed the rules, we can change the law. How about that? How about that being turnabout?
No, this is my exact opening. You are conflating and obfuscating. You're saying, well, if there's a rule change here, then why don't we just do a law change to get to here? But we're not saying a rule change to a rule change. You guys are saying a rule change to a law change, which is going to.
But Gen Z, did you hear my response to that? So my response to that, and you haven't effectively, I think, countered it, is the notion that
This it can't be. They're playing retarded. It's so stupid. It's so boring.
Boring. So you think Wick's doing a bad job then here?
No, it's just there are no serious conservative people to debate. They're just all they have to be in the gutter.
So
What did the Pod Boys have to say? Oh no!
Oh boy.
Wait, link me this episode of the Pod Boys. I want to hear them. I want to hear the sweeping. I need to hear it.
You know they worked for Obama, right?
True, they're mainstream.
Want to vote by mail. Carlos Salcedo has the latest on what voters need to know to have their voices heard. He's live in Norwalk. Carlos.
Norwalk.
California. Big race, of course, is the jungle primary for governor. Same question for each of you. Who'd you end up supporting and why?
I am going to vote for Tom Steyer. If the polls are to be believed, and they've been pretty consistent, Becerra is going to move on. One other will. There's a chance Tom Steyer can be that second person. I would much rather have two Democrats battling it out for the future of the Democratic Party in this state than I would have Becerra.
It's sad, but yes, my Hispanic family will always pick the Hispanic guy over anyone regardless of policy. It's so, okay, I'm trying not to crash out over this, but like, I think racism is bad. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know what to say. It's like, it's really common though.
God
Black
damn
and Hispanic voters both.
These goddamn fucking... I wish there were more people like the Mexicans that worked with that worked at the Equinox that Hassan was at. That's what I wish.
I don't get the meme.
You don't what do you mean?
I don't get it.
What don't you get? You don't remember
Oh wait, did you see this? U.S.
What?
House passes Iran war powers.
No one cares.
resolution.
He's not going to do anything and no one gives a fuck.
Oh, okay. So nothing matters. Got it.
Yeah. Why the fuck is it so hard to find everything on fucking Google now? What the fuck? What?
Oh my god. Is this true?
What?
Lena the Plug has filed for divorce from Adam 22. She is seeking both legal and physical custody of their 5-year-old daughter. Via TMZ.
That's crazy, fam. And where is the Hassan Bernie Sanders Equinox? His PR firm is working overtime. They wiped this clip. They wiped it. I know they did. Shut up!
This isn't real, right?
I hope so. Yes, unfortunately. It's more retarded actually than you think.
All right. Okay.
I can't believe you haven't seen this.
I live in a district that's most likely going to either vote for Biden or vote for Elizabeth Warren, okay? A lot of rich white gays here. A lot of rich white cis gays here. They all
Homofascism, as he calls it.
He hates fucking gays, man.
Yep. Class IDPOL, they hate the identity politics shit. It's got to all be about class. They don't like any intersectional IDPOL bullshit.
I go to establishments like Equinox where I like to measure, and this is completely anecdotal, but I like to measure the reaction that I get. You know who fucking stops me? No matter where I go. Without a doubt. You know who fucking stops me? It's not the beautifully sculpted cis gay men, overwhelmingly white, at the Equinox gym when they see me wearing Bernie Sanders merch. It's the janitors. It's the cleaning people. Almost all of them Latino. They always stop me and they say, oh yeah, we're going to vote for Bernie. We're going to vote for Bernie.
We love Bernie.
It's the fucking working class people.
That's good. I like that.
Tend to be like pretty racially and groupy, and white voters are too. The difference is when white voters do it, we criticize them. When we see like white people are biased in favor of voting for white people, it's the subject of a billion think pieces. But then when it comes to Black and Hispanic Americans, it's like, well, break free the shackles of oppression. Use the map.
I love, dude. Nobody. You got the white like tankies when black and Mexican people aren't vote the right way. Ooh, bro, they break out those white cloaks. Oh, low information voters, huh?
Master's tools against them. I don't know.
Versus a Republican who has not passed the threshold question of opposing Donald Trump's election lines. Like that to me is a threshold question. You can be frustrated with Democrats in the state. You can believe that Democrats have fucked up in California. But if you can't say Donald Trump lost that election, if you can't stand up to him, then that is so fucking dangerous. And he's a nut for that. I also really liked my conversation with Tom Steyer. I think he had good answers for some of the questions about where Democrats have gone wrong in California and some of the criticisms. I also really like Katie Porter, but she just hasn't risen to the top of the poll. It sucks because I really...
Steyer's a billionaire with zero experience. Yeah, but like his opponents have experience in being bastards is the issue. Steyer believes good things.
Can you? I didn't catch. Like I wasn't following closely. I don't even know what I was doing in my life. Why the fuck do all the tanky ML people suck off Steyer again? What did he do? Where did this like obsession with him come from?
He went on Hassan's stream.
Is that it? Can't just be that because that one
that's the only thing I've seen.
The elitist Indian caste lady also went on Hassan's stream. They fucking hated her.
Well, yeah, she's Indian though.
I know, but like there must be some.
I don't know.
He's a slopulist, is he? Maybe, I don't know.
Things, and he appears to be sincere because he's taking positions that aren't even politically advantageous. Steyer is defending trans athletes. Do you know how few people are willing to touch on that? Even Mamdani doesn't. Like, even Mamdani advocates for trans people in a kind of broad liberatory way, not in a specific, like, trans high school chicks should be playing volleyball with other chicks kind of way. But Steyer just not only defended it, but posted about it. Like, he's taking politically progressive positions that actively harm him in the race. That to me, it's a sign of conviction.
Like her, but I'm trying to be pragmatic with my vote.
If I could wave a magic wand and make someone governor, it would be Katie Porter, but she's down in the polls. I have
just unfathomable mind.
Pragmatic with my vote.
If I could wave a magic wand and make someone...
Okay.
This guy is always the most based on the show.
Who's this
by
guy?
The way.
Why don't I ever see him? Damn.
We see him a bit. He's usually not retarded.
Okay. King.
Governor would be Katie Porter, but she's down in the polls. I have
just unfathomable mind. Unfathomable pod saves wonkery.
The same rationale. I want to vote strategically because I think Steyer and Becerra going to a runoff would be great. It would kind of be annoying if we had to deal with, running against Steve Hilton, who's a random British short gang who's like deep in the tech community.
How's he on economics and pro-civilization stuff? Steyer is the most economically progressive person in the race with regards to stuff like Medicare for all taxation and stuff like that. No one else. He is objectively the most progressive candidate in the race on like every possible angle.
I don't think his height's a problem.
I do love that triggered you of all the criticism.
If I were doing ranked choice, I would be Katie number one.
I thought about Becerra, but like I don't feel confident giving the top job to someone who's had 35 years in elected office to prove himself, but has received mainly bad reviews from his colleagues. He's very late to introduce any kind of housing policy whatsoever until after ballots drop. Even then it was like more NIMBY than Steyer or Porter or anything else. And now like I hope I'm wrong, and if he wins, then like great, maybe he'll be a great governor. But
Steyer's the only one who wants to nuke homeowners and raise property taxes. California will be a like barren between Southern California running out of water within the next 20 years and the lack of property taxes. California will be a dead state unless somebody is willing to do what needs to be done and raise the property taxes to 100%.
True.
Everyone in San Bernardino needs to be paying collectively more than the GDP of their entire town to the state.
It prevented me from voting Becerra.
Steyer
is what?
Which part of California is Vosh from again?
I think Beverly Hills, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, okay. That's what it is. Thank you.
Like, I'm more confident in Steyer. For me, it was like the combination of he's never had any experience in elected office or governing anything, and is a billionaire who basically ran for president first, flamed out there, then spent just the GDP of a small country on this race. I like his positions better than Becerra and a lot of the other candidates, but I'm just like, there's just something a little icky to me about it. So I just voted for Katie Porter because I like her.
It is unfathomable. True.
Damn. Okay.
Really.
The least strategic thing I could do, but Katie to me is like I've known her a while. The temperament with her staff stuff is obviously like it bothered me a lot because like we've known her forever, and I actually didn't know that until those stories came up. I also don't think she's going to win at this point, but I'm like, who do I want to be governor?
Doesn't it like bother you a little bit that she's a psychopath? Like, isn't that
a psychopath? Plattner, the guy with the Nazi tattoo, who is posting semi-nude selfies of himself on Kick with the fucking toilet seat up in the background. Like, this is sociopath levels of shit, okay? That's all cool. But remember that one time when the lady was in the back of Katie Porter's Instagram story and she was like, why the fuck are you in the background? Woo!
That's like, doesn't that dampen your enthusiasm for her just like the tiniest bit that she's fucking crazy? Does that do nothing? Okay.
She's thought about the job a lot. She has like a really well thought out policy platform. She's actually worked on passing legislation and getting things done when she was in Congress. And I feel like she's just like done the work for the job more than anyone.
Done the work for the Oh, she did her homework. It's her turn. It's her turn. Give me more Steyer being based.
Everybody's nice to you 90% of the time. Every politician is going to say, Mom, apple pie, the flag. I'm absolutely 100% behind those. What you need is the person in the 10% of the time when it's not popular to say. And so, I think it's critical. You talked about trans people. I'm totally in favor of trans athletes in high school. I think when you understand the vulnerability, the stress, the danger of being a trans kid, and you understand that almost half of them try to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And then you think we're going to punish those kids. We're going to cut them off from team sports. We're going to cut them off from participating in the community. We're going to cut them off from fun. It's like, no, we're not. No, we're not. And, as someone who played sports,
man, oof, when the IDPOL was on their side, they love the IDPOL.
life and love sports and love playing sports. They're more important things than whether you start on your high school basketball team.
I really appreciate the fact that he is correctly pointing out that high school sports is about fun and social inclusion, not about finding the best athlete. It's fucking high school sports. The idea that you're ruining some kind of sacrosanct political environment when the average person on the team is 16 and there are people who are mid-puberty. What the
Yikes. That's a coastal elite take, okay? In the Midwest, high school might be the most important time of your life and the only thing that you can brag about or look back to, okay? You think some dude trying to get a scholarship to a fucking Division IV football thing is going to be able to brag about what he does in college? Fuck no. He's got his high school football sports. His high school sports, that's the peak of his life. Vouch, okay? For some people, that's all they got.
Fuck do you mean you're trying to find the best athlete in high school athletics? No, it's a fucking quarter course in your PE
high school
class.
Athletics is where you get fucking scouted for college and free college and shit. It's a thing.
Kind of,
it's
yeah,
like
it
a big
is.
thing.
It can be, yeah, too. Also, that's kind of
These
weird.
guys are being
Or
Asian
sometimes
retarded,
I think you can go for NBA. You can go right from high school to NBA, right? Or do they change that?
Not anymore.
Ooh.
You could at one point, but you
wow. Oh, so
but now there's real fucking
once
money
again, the NCAA has stolen professional athletes and subjected them to risk of injury just to steal them for their own sporting events. Is that what you're saying? Is that what happened to the NBA?
Yes.
Yikes.
Yeah, I am saying that.
Yikes.
But also, they have the NIL money, so they're getting paid out the fucking ass now to do college sports and shit.
Who is they?
They're going
Who
to,
is?
The
schools or the players?
No, the players.
Really?
Now
The players
are getting paid.
Really?
Yes, dude. The players. If you're at a D1 school, you're going to fucking. If you go to the NFL, you're already a millionaire sometimes.
A millionaire sometimes. Really?
I would. Yes.
Sometimes.
Man. Yes. It's better than it used to be. I'm not saying it's perfect.
Remember back when NCAA athletes couldn't even fucking sign autographs without the college officials literally raping them? And they were like, excuse me, you have a free ride. You can take 7 math classes if you want for free. Why the fuck are you trying to monetize yourself?
Yeah, it was so dumb.
But okay.
You're not, so everyone participates. Stupid.
So here's a look at the last polling conducted ahead of Election Day. It shows Mayor Karen Bass and Spencer Pratt effectively tied at 30%, with Councilmember Nithya Raman not far behind with 23%. 5% were undecided. This polling is from California Post and McLaughlin.
Actually, Vosh, a lot of private high schools have full-fledged sport teams competing in state leagues. Yeah, but my opinion is that fuck them. I don't care about them. The only reason schools get involved in sports to begin with is because they can use unpaid athletes. It's literally just a way for the school to fleece money off the talent of their student athletes without paying them because it's student activities.
I mean, the schools can make money, but also people well, that's a very strong. I mean, is that true for every single professional athletic event then? That the people, the owners of the leagues, just want to make money? I mean, that's kind of true. But people do like their sports. High school sports is a little cringe, but I mean, it is kind of important, right? How do you get scholarships to go to college?
It's a fundamentally corrupt industry through which tens of billions of dollars.
Jesus Christ.
Circulate. I have no respect for it whatsoever. It shouldn't exist.
Flynn Associates. It was conducted early last week.
All right, let's show you how the California governor's race is shaping up. The polling was done by Inside California Politics and Emerson College last week on Wednesday and Thursday. Becerra, 28%. Steyer, 23%. Hilton at 23% as well. We've got Chad Bianco at 12% and Katie Porter at 5%.
All right, so those are the poll stands right now. Brooke is joining us now with so far voter turnout has been especially low compared to general elections. I guess this can be expected.
Wow, I wonder why after fucking Gavin Newsom, the Democrat that ran the fucking governed like a Republican, but was still being glazed by the entire Democratic establishment as some kind of insane anti-Republican, dark horse or whatever. I wonder why people in California are feeling disenfranchised after it's been proven to them over and over again their vote doesn't matter and everyone's lying to them.
Yeah, typically what we see as far as the difference between general elections, but of course, this is not what the candidates want to see, regardless. Statewide, 18% of ballots have been returned. LA County, 14%. Same with Los Angeles, the city, also 14%.
All right, so even digging into what voters are thinking, what we're
trying,
and what we might expect here during this election cycle. And you've been talking to former city council member Mike Bonin.
Yeah, I was fascinated to talk to him because he's out of it, kind of, obviously, right? But he was right there. He was in it, and so he knows. I think he thinks he has a great idea of what voters are looking for, right? What candidates need to do to try and make the point that they can best serve the city of Los Angeles. So I asked him overall, what do you think about the mayoral race in general? And he basically said, look, it's anyone's game still.
Overall thoughts on the mayor's race is I think it's sort of a jump ball. When the votes are done being counted.
Do I need to watch him wear this?
It could be any two out of Mayor Bass.
I'm good. What is this?
No time to read a list. Approved. Next. Approved. I don't know. No time to read.
What? What?
I didn't get it.
Wait, is this like he's thinking about like, because I think they just bombed in St. Petersburg. So was this like thinking about approving the bombing in St. Petersburg? Is that?
I don't know.
Okay. They bombed a refinery during the economic forum. Yeah, okay. Okay. Last tab I have open. What is this?
Familiar with. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wanted this. And it also, by the way, the character looks awful.
Oh, boy.
I just think it doesn't look good. I mean, like, if I was this actress, you know what this is like? This is like, it's like, basically, it's like somebody who didn't like her made her look like this in the game. Someone who didn't like her for some reason, and that's the way they make her. They give her the eye bags.
Just as a quick thing, I don't like to give my haters insight into my mind, okay? But just as a quick thing, the way that you can always tell when somebody is either jealous of the way somebody looks, or they're just not happy, or whatever, they're trying to tear somebody down like on a physical appearance level, trying to compare a still from a video, let alone like a video game video or whatever, trying to compare a still from like a professional photograph is crazy. Like, you are always going to be posed, lighted, make-upped, hair, like it's going to be like, oh, like your photographs are always going to be the most elite, epic, best version of what you can possibly look like. And yeah, the idea of like taking a photograph, like you could probably put a video of her here and also say like, oh my God, like she looks horrible here when she doesn't have makeup on or something. They would say some retarded shit like this. But it's just dumb, but whatever.
As well, they give her like those cheek lines right here. Like, it's not good, man. And yeah, she's Gollumified.
Not the cheek lines.
She is. This is so obviously bad. And also, I want to show you guys this too, because there are some people that, again, they love to get it twisted. They love to misunderstand. But take a look at this here. It's not a limit of hardware. That's a lie they tell you to insert their feminist slop. This is by choice. Asian games have no issue rendering.
Was mad about God of War on Twitter?
Tectone.
Connor.
Okay, well, whatever.
Real beautiful women, and Metal Gear Solid 4 came out on the PlayStation 3 back in 2008. Characters on 2-decade-old hardware look better than the ones Western devs are making today, even with all the horsepower and tools at their fingertips they didn't have back then. This is an industry run by activists and Karens, looking to force their fake morality from the top down, and when the games lose money, they'll have no one to blame but themselves. Look at that. This is from Metal Gear Solid 4, I guess? You see these girls? Okay. Yeah.
These don't look better, they're just more cummable. Like, what do you like it's just a character that makes you want to cum more. Like, just say that. What do you mean by look better?
Wow.
And then these guys are like, I don't know why women will
Wow, how about that? Yep, absolute baddies. Yep, definitely. The West. And look at this. This is the way that they do it. You see here? Japan. That's the real actress. That's her in game. That's the real actress. That's her in game. This is the West. They intentionally make them ugly and fat and more masculine. That's what they do. And the reason why is to satisfy the hags. To make the hags. Make the hags happy so they don't cry and complain. That's it. Look at that jaw. Oh my God. They're anti-women. Nobody hates women more than women. Oh man. You guys have no idea. You know, like, there are like studies that if women perceive another woman to be more attractive than her, they will give the woman sabotage, like what's it called? Fashion advice. They'll say, you know what you should do? You should shave your head. No, you do deserve a buffet.
There are aspects of this that are kind of true, but it has nothing to do with this.
You could gain a few. No, you'd be fine. You'd look great. You're beautiful. No, there's nothing wrong with it because, again, shave half your head off. Yeah, no, you should get a nose ring. Oh, what if he doesn't like it? Well, he's so, like, fuck him. You could do so much better anyway. That's it. It's dead ass true. It is. The one WNBA player that all the girls fuck with, I think that's probably more because she's white. But, you know, I mean, maybe it's also because, I mean, I don't know. Like, I hate to say it, but, like, I think Angel Reese is hot, too. I do. Like, maybe I'm wrong for saying that, but I think that they're both, like, kind of attractive. If I had to say, like, I probably would say Angel Reese is more attractive than she is. I mean, Caitlin Clark. That's my opinion, right? I'm sorry. That's what I think. That's what I think. You can get mad as much as you want, right? You can say that. Like, that's unfollow. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, bro, she got like a mustache. I'm not looking at her face. Why would you look at her face? What's wrong with you? What are you, gay? What do you mean? Hot take inbound. I'm giving you my opinion, right? I'll give you my opinion. That's the way it is.
The Furies literally suck shit in the game because they were way too goonery. What the fuck is Asmongold talking about? Kojima was too preoccupied with making them hot to make them good. Kojima's a gooner, okay? What do you want me to say? That he goons all of his characters out, all right?
That's just good business.
I mean, again, like definitely not. But like, I'm just saying in general, you know, you want to ask me, people gonna press me on this. That's what I think. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. And anyway, it looks like Sid from Ice Age. Look, here's the point. All right, Sony did it again. You can thank the usual consultants. Exactly. And this is hag, this is straight up hag propaganda. Gears of War E-Day. Dumb.
The cube
hey,
was
Marcus,
funny,
bro,
though.
you gotta go. Hey, remember to stand behind
I'm glad I triggered so many people in chat.
Are we
the wall
missing,
whenever you shoot the
state of play or whatever? Is there not another one?
What, game?
Yeah.
I don't know.
guys. Hey, don't watch it. Watch out. Hey, use your chainsaw, man. Use your Remember whenever we used to use chainsaws, bro? Dominant Cube. I know, man. Would have been funnier if it was Gears of War Cube Day. And anyway, look at some of these other ones. This is what's happened. God of War and Halo. Look what they done. Look what they done. I remember when I used to be the target audience. That was a long time ago. It really was. How does this happen? It happens because of, I'm going to blame all of this on women. And simps. And these fat, you know who does this? I'm going to tell you who does this. Guys that go along with this are
Was he
these
saying
fat,
this on Twitch
beta
too, or
male, slightly over...
What?
Was he saying this on Twitch too, or no?
Of course. What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
Overweight. They wear a hat and a hoodie all the time. They try to be like masculine guys, and they have those gauges in their ears. You know, like those stupid things that like you're going to see on National Geographic in 150 years, right? They have those things in their...
Has Asmongold ever even played Halo 3 in his entire life? I'm curious, because wasn't this guy like a fucking WoW obsessed kid forever? Do you think he's ever even had an Xbox?
No, probably not.
Ears and like they're all of them are they're either really fat or they look like I do. So it's pretty much one bad example or another. So it's actually why indie games are huge right now. They are. And so Redditors, yes, they are. And they collect Funko Pops and they're millennials and they have mental disorders. The definition of woke slop. That's it. And God of Laundry, we see this. They literally aged her for the sake of the story and added a few wrinkles. What the fuck, y'all?
Halo was on PC, no? Shut the fuck up, motherfucker. Halo was on PC? Halo was on PC? If you want to say you're a fucking video game nerd or whatever, okay, it should be... If you can't explain what BXR is, okay, you just never played Halo, which is fine, but don't sit here and act all...
I didn't play it.
Good. You were too young, probably. It probably wasn't even out when you were born, loser.
What a surprise. What a surprise. I told y'all. Tecton's Twitter tag. Let me look and see what Tecton said. Yeah, she's supposed to be a literal goddess. Like, I mean, really. Wait, she's supposed to be a literal goddess, not like a fucking random mom. Let me go back. There's her mango. What is this thing? It's a dog. Where's this top?
Adam22 and Lena are maybe getting divorced. I don't know if it's a troll or not. It's on TMZ. I don't know. Okay, there you go. I don't know what I'm supposed to say about it.
Shouldn't it have a beeper on it? Like, what's this? And no, this isn't it. Okay, here it is. This is the quote that he did. What the fuck are they doing? No fan of God of War is going to want to play this woke ass garbage. Wow. Yeah, let me swap from playing as motherfucking Kratos, the God of War, a man who fucks multiple women at once and kills the gods themselves, to a mid 30-year-old white woman. Absolutely horrendous.
40-year-old white woman.
Hard skip. Gay as fuck. Damn, bro, like, that's it. And people are mad about this. They were mad. He said that you might be gay, dude. You call people gay as much as they want. I don't even know who this guy is. He follows me. Maybe he's a smart guy. Well, he should learn some. He'd watch some more streams. Maybe he won't be saying this shit. Waste of time. That's crazy how accurate it is. And your own hairline spent years trying to get away from you. Like, is it really, like, trying to make fun? Maybe you won't be saying...
Wait, she kind of looks like Greta Thunberg here now.
This shit. Waste of time. That's crazy how accurate it is. And your own hairline spent years trying to get away from you. Like, is it really like trying to make fun of this guy's hair? Like, okay, all right, that's fine. And play God of Walk instead. Oh my god. And anyway, God of War's wife, absolute dog shit take. Oh man. As God of Foids, so true. God of War Veilguard. Oh my god. So anyway, you're giving attention to the ones that agree with you. You're wrong. You're influencing the marketing of the franchise because you're only giving attention to what you agree with.
Did you know about the divorce plan? I don't know if it's a real divorce or if it's a stunt. I have no idea, okay? I don't talk to Adam that much. I have no clue. Let me use the restroom 1 second.
You don't talk to Adam. What about the other girl?
I talked to Bemdani.
What about Lena, the plug? Really? He leaves me on red here. Really now? Oh, running. Okay. Caught. He ran. Goon to punish him. Shut up. I'm busy. I had a bad D&D session. And I've given up. It's in Nick's hands now. I don't care. I don't care what happens anymore. Shrimplez. What made it bad? You'll find. I mean, you'll see. Can we watch Pirates again? Just leave me be. I've given up. I'm not eating today. It's over. Just let me die. It's over for me. Just want to sit here like the rest of you, watch Steve, hear him say a funny thing at least once a stream, maximum twice. I want to type WCAT when business is happening. And that's about it. Oh, yeah. Store.destiny.gg, buy a plushie. Limited time. Plushies.
Why are you saying it's such a downer? Jesus.
It's just business, WCAT.
Okay. I might be right back. We'll see. I'm gonna go on the Wick thing for a sec.
Oh, good. Thank you. Finally. Oh shit! I have perms here, but I'm not.
You motherfucker! Stalking me. You're stalking me. This is stalking.
Stalk.
By and multiple people have told me different things. So I will absolutely look into that and figure out who did that. But I have no intention of distributing your PII.
Okay. But someone did, and my suspicion, and I can't prove this, my suspicion is that whoever sent you this proof that I got doxxed probably, and it may not have just been this person, it may be multiple people doing this, also distributed this to other creators as also proof. And in the course of doing that, it was given to someone who has since taken that information and started posting it to Twitter. So my frustration with the behavior, my frustration with the behavior of the snarkers and that community is at the very best, Faith, I can give you, the gross negligence to take something that you knew, that they all knew I did not want people to see, and spread it in such a way that it got to someone who then started posting it on Twitter.
Well, then that whoever. Well, yeah, that seems like a gripe between you and whoever was spreading it, right?
But I'm asking you who.
I'll try to figure that out. I'm being honest with you. I don't I will absolutely be. What I can tell you is, when stream is over, I will absolutely be able to have an answer within maybe an hour, right? I'd have to do digging and ask around. I actually don't remember. I would be absolutely willing to give you an answer today, and I could almost certainly figure it out. I just don't fucking know right now. Unironically, I have no idea.
Destiny, you had some questions. Go ahead.
No, I just said I would hop in if you wanted me. I don't have any questions. Fuck. What are you guys arguing about in here? What's going on today?
Apparently, someone gave Mr. Aiden my docs after that debate. And he talked about it on stream. He talked about seeing my docs, what it was. He described it accurately, or how it was, at least the portion that was posted in the server that I saw. And I'm just real curious who did that, but he doesn't seem to remember.
I actually don't. What happened was I wanted to figure out whether or not the claim that was made was true. When I figured out that that claim was true, I then took corrective action. And in the course of figuring out whether that claim was true, I saw your docs through someone. I don't remember exactly who that was. I asked multiple people about this and had multiple conversations in relation to it. I also had conversations pertaining to other separate allegations unrelated to you in regards to what Dan was claiming about Wendy Fox, etc. Because believe it or not, I don't want to be associated with people that are going around doxing people and have vested interest in getting that out of my community. So in the course that I saw it, at the moment, I actually just legitimately don't know, out of all the people I was talking to, who provided me with that evidence.
Yeah, but the reason my suspicion here is, in my worry, I guess maybe not my suspicion, but my worry is that you're going to take this hour after the stream to find a way to spin this and an answer that won't be honest, but instead be a CYA answer, because I think that you're worried that this implicates you in some things, or might implicate friends of yours, right? Because again, well, let me ask, once you were given it, did you show it to anyone else in private? Right?
No.
Oh, here's a proof that Wick got doxxed.
No. Why would I do that?
Well, because if someone asked you, hey, I would need to see evidence of Wick getting doxxed,
I'm not the one.
Oh, here's some evidence that he got doxxed.
Why would I be going around trying to prove your guys' claim for you? My only investment in it was for my own personal action to remove those people from my space, not because I was trying to prove it to other people. I've never disseminated the information I was given. I don't even know if I have.
To remove them for a month or two. These are someone you described as a friend. Let's read the clip. I got it.
Yeah, sure.
Here. Share this. I'm pretty sure this is it. Everyone got it up? Everyone able to see it?
Yep.
Okay.
That was not brought to anyone's attention and seemingly forgotten about. I've not seen any evidence since of this occurring since, right? When this was brought to everybody, when people were made aware of what had happened, everybody took action. Everybody. I unfortunately, despite being friends with the person that posted this PII, not through the Destiny shit, I was friends with him through Spicy or whatever. The person that posted this, I unfortunately had to remove them from my server. I say unfortunately because I don't think this is like a bad person that intended to go and like dox. I think they just saw a tweet and linked it. Unfortunately, that's still the dissemination of PII, and they're on our ass right now, and that's obviously something that needs to be moderated. If I know about it, is this person irrevocably damaged in my eyes? No. If they seem to understand that what they did was wrong, it was from like a year ago, and I probably will allow them back in my server at some point. So long as this behavior is acknowledged to be wrong, they can apologize for it, explain it, and we'll never do it again, right? It didn't happen in my server. It happened somewhere else.
It's not pre-made.
That's enough. Yeah, I don't think this is taking this seriously. I don't. I think that you saying that he didn't intend to dox me, what did he intend to do with this? It was obviously personal information, right? We could at least see to that was obvious.
Yeah, it seems like he reposted your PII, which is why I removed this person from the server.
So when you say you don't think he intended to dox me, right? What do you mean by that?
I think he thought the photo of you was funny and then just like sent the tweet, but it had your name in it, so that would be your PII and that wouldn't be okay.
Okay.
I don't think I'm saying anything that's that crazy here, I gotta be honest. I mean, if you feel like something I'm saying is like that off base, tell me. We can engage with that, but it just seems a little performative.
I think that you would have a far different standard if I found out that Mr. Mooten had posted your PII or someone that you were friends with PII in my server, laughed about it, and I said, oh, that wasn't intentional doxing. I think that you would rightly.
Sure, so you can make up a scenario, but I've actually been consistent on this. Somebody posted my phone number and tried to get me swatted. That person, after significantly apologizing to me, explaining to me what was going through their mind at the time, and seemingly understanding how inappropriate that was, I forgave them, and I haven't brought this up to them since. I don't really actively associate with them anymore, but if they wanted to, play video games or hang out or whatever, I wouldn't necessarily take issue with that. I've been consistent when it's happened to me, right? I'm a big believer in redemption. I'm a big believer in change. And I don't believe that people are like irrevocably bad so long as there is some understanding of wrongdoing and willingness to change. I've literally said this about Destiny. I've said I would be, had I believe Destiny was genuinely remorseful for shit, I would be fine. I wouldn't be using this against them. I just don't believe that's the case, right? I hold the standard consistently.
Wait, so what are you guys arguing about right now? Are you talking about the tweet that was posted in that Snark server?
Yes. And apparently someone's been distributing it to at least to Aiden. I don't know who else.
And wait. What was the quote about, or what is he saying about the tweet that was in the Snark server?
He's saying that, well, first of all, he, again, being banned from the Snark server, could not have seen it in the Snark server, so someone had to give it to him. And I'm curious who's passing around my docs. That's my first question, right? Because obviously, he was banned. He couldn't have checked it there. So where did he get it? He says he doesn't remember.
Unironically, as I said before, there were a litany of claims being made that I wanted to follow up on and verify to cover my own ass, and I spoke to a myriad of people about various things, and amongst those people, somebody at some point showed it to me. I actually don't remember which specific person it was, but I'm sure whichever of those people it was knew that I wouldn't disseminate it, right? And I didn't. I've never disseminated your docs. My only interest in verifying that this happened was to remove a doxer from my community.
I don't care if they thought you would distribute it or not. They were showing you my docs. I was not okay with you seeing my docs, or I would have given it to you as evidence, right?
I'm sorry. I'll try to erase it from my mind.
I was not okay with you seeing my personal name or information, and someone decided to give it to you, and I want to know who is doing that. Did they only give it to you, or did they give it to other people? Who else did they distribute it to? I'm very curious as the answer to these questions.
Sure, and I'd be happy to look at, as I said before.
Wait, so who was the person? Are you saying somebody else posted it in your community?
No. I would have spoken to people privately about this. I was attempting to follow up with people that were in that server at the time to verify that this did in fact happen, and you guys weren't making this up. Because I wasn't at the... And to be fair, I understand now, knowing the nature of what it was, why evidence couldn't be provided at the time. But obviously, I'm not necessarily going to take you guys at your word for it. Once I found out that happened, my only interest in figuring out that it happened was to take corrective action. And when I did, I took corrective action because I don't condone doxing you, anyone around you, Wick. And it doesn't help me at all. It doesn't serve my purposes. It's a wrong thing to do. I don't want to get doxxed, so obviously I don't want to give you guys a justification to do it to me. And once that happened, the person was removed from my server.
What do you think it means that it was posted in that Snark server and nobody really said anything about it? Like, nobody seemed to say, this is probably not okay, or we shouldn't remove this, or...
Sure. So it was like, what, 2 weeks into the server? I don't think everyone that was like presently in it when you guys got the logs had been in there at that point. But that shows a degree of negligence and stupidity that I'm not okay with.
Why do you say negligence and stupidity? Why not maliciousness?
Because there should have been enough moderation where a mod that saw that should have removed that, I guess.
Well, maybe a mod saw it and they decided not to remove it.
Well, if a mod saw it and decided not to remove it, then they're a bad person.
Sure. So then it wouldn't be stupidity or negligence. Why would we assume that over just maliciousness?
So it's the stupidity. So I'm almost certain, knowing how I use Discord, I don't know how many servers you're in. I know I'm in a lot of servers where I personally don't see every single message. I'm sure the vast majority of people in that server never saw this instance. So the stupidity and negligence would be assumed in the instance of not having people on standby that would have seen this occurring and done it. If there was negligence occurring, which there very well could have been, right? Which there very well could have been, I would need to see some evidence of that and then be totally willing to condemn it.
Why didn't anybody? Nobody reported it. Nobody told a mod. Nobody mentioned anything about it. People just saw.
They should have.
Well, but then again, why would you assume?
That would be negligence, right? If somebody saw, whoever did verifiably see it,
it would be they're supporting the content, right?
Sorry, malice. I meant malice.
Oh, sure, yeah. So people responded to it, right?
People. I don't know if people are responding to it. I only saw the message in
Well, I think was Rita the one who posted it or responded to it, and then
Rita,
QQ.
It was Rita that posted it.
Yeah, and then QQ laughed at it, right? Were they a mod in there at the time?
Did QQ laugh at it? I thought Dan walked that one back.
Well,
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
can
Let me be
confirm
clear.
they
Hold
did.
on. I don't know if they laughed at it. I know they typed LOL. It is possible they didn't laugh in real life.
Well, I'm okay. Obviously, I'm not like I know what you mean, right? If they said I could grant you that, if they just typed LOL in response to it, that wouldn't be okay either, right?
Was QQ a mod
I
in
just
there
haven't
at the
seen that.
time?
I'm not sure.
If multiple people see a thing, like the obvious thing here is that like if multiple people saw the thing, and by the way, this was like you acknowledge the Rita person went searching for this, right? So they either found it on, I don't know, it's hard to keep up with all the doxes of people around me that get posted on Kiwi Farms, but they either went searching for his docs on Kiwi Farms or they went searching on Twitter for this, right? This didn't just pop up.
I guess they could have. I haven't figured. I don't know the exact process in which they found it. That could totally be possible as well. If that's true as well, that makes it worse.
Sure. Well, I mean, it must be what happened, right? Because the source of this thing is like 9 years old, I think, right? So.
Yeah, if that's how that happened, then yeah, that's bad.
Okay, so if we have a thing that was dug up from a long time ago, we've got responses in there that are kind of just like laughing at it, and then nobody ever reported this to any server mods, nobody mentioned it to anybody, then it seems like that's probably just like an acceptable norm for that server, no? Isn't that like the obvious thing?
Well, I don't know if it would be an acceptable norm if it only happened once, 2 weeks into the server, and then never happened again. And the second it was made aware to like anyone who actually has like a form of like influence, like the main critics, they immediately like took corrective action.
Well, the corrective
when they
action only
verified
came when it was blown up publicly, right?
I guess, but like for
No,
people that,
not
like,
I guess, yes. The only corrective
Well-
action happened after we talked
Well, no,
about it on Wick's
well,
show.
you know, but
right?
no, that's not true. You blowing it up publicly was also the moment we found out about it. When was this presented to any of us in private prior to you blowing it up publicly? The
Well,
public
at the
blow-up
very
just
least-
coincides with us learning about it.
At the very least, Rita and QQ saw it. I don't know who else responded afterwards. I guess I got
Yes, and
pull it up
anyone who knew about it that didn't take action at that point in time needs to answer for that because that's not okay.
It's
right?
not a matter of like anybody who knew about it though, right? Why? Like it's just like kind of probably a norm for the server at least at that time, and nobody cared much about
what interests do like for example people like me have and
Okay,
somebody like
just
Wick
real
getting
quick,
doxxed? It's
just
not
real
a
quick,
norm. It
just real
hurts
quick.
us.
I have a gentleman who says he was in the server, saw it happen, and can recount. I don't know if he's being serious, but let's, in the interest of my curiosity, I'll bring him on for a moment and see what he has to say. If it's bullshit, we'll just kick him. Hi, you're live.
Hello. So, I have questions about this because I was in the Snark Left server when this
Okay.
happened. I vaguely recall it. I'm pretty sure I was there. What I remember seeing was the aftermath. I never saw the actual docs, and I was told by people in the server that it was the PV leak. So it was
Okay,
like
it was not that, to be
considered.
clear.
Are you just
Yeah, and,
wait?
and I trust you when you say that. So that's what I'm wondering because that's what I was told. So like I was a member of the Snark Left server. I came into the server and I saw people talking about the docs. I never remember seeing the docs. And when I asked about it, I was told what it now seems like a bogus excuse that it was the PV docs, which in a lot of people's opinion at the time was like a low stakes kind of, oh, this is already leaked by this many people, so it's like just people disseminating like publicly sourced information, like, which is obviously still bad, obviously still not great. And by the way, Aiden, like what I want to ask to you, Aiden, is do you think that if somebody sources a bunch of publicly available information, gathers it, and then makes that person a target with their language, either moralizing language or something like that, do you think that's a dox?
Yeah, it depends on, so it can be, right? The qualifier for me would be whether or not the publicly available information was like whether or not it was clear to the person whom the information belonged to that this link was established and they themselves either established that link or permitted it, right? So it wouldn't be a dox. It wouldn't be a dox for you to post that my name is Aiden because I identify by that name. I've given you guys that information
And with Leo
voluntarily.
Convoy's wife, was this stuff that like they consented to posting, or was this stuff that was just shared around by other people before you shared it?
Yes. So Lio Convoy is a Lio Convoy Facebook account. He voluntarily, in the course of debates, gave out their address, wife's last name, her occupation, age, etc. And then through her public Facebook account, which is still public, it ended up the Lio Convoy account and her account interacted with one another regularly. So Lio's present friend, this guy called Gilded Poo, disseminated her face from the Facebook in a YouTube video with like 20,000 views years before I knew who either of these people were. And then after that
Right.
point, all this information had since been widely distributed and they took no corrective action to remove or obscure
Just
it.
real quick, Duck, who
Yeah.
told you that it was the PV leak?
I don't remember. If I had to guess,
People don't
I remember
these
people were active in
things.
the chat.
Why
Yeah.
don't you remember? Like this
Why don't
annoys
why don't
me.
I, why don't I, no, I'm saying that it was I'm just telling you that I'm like I don't have the logs, right? Like the only people in this conversation that have the logs presumably right now are Destiny. So he can go back and verify and he can actually tell us all who the person was. If I had to guess, I would think it was somebody who was involved in that exchange, so probably Rita or QQ. But I don't want to pin a like I don't remember. That's all the only reason I'm being like evasive with saying I don't remember, you know.
It did seem to be the common thing said at the time that I think Queeman and Justical and a bunch of other people were saying like, oh, it was just the PV thing. It was the PV thing. So that
Right.
seemed to be the lie that they were going. So it really might not even matter who said it to her. That was just the lie that
And
that
that's
everybody
what
was
I
spreading.
believed at the time. Yeah, that's like basically when I saw that was like discussed in the server at the time. I think I even might have said something like, "What is it? What the fuck was leaked?" Because that would like determine how I would react and how much condemnation I would give people.
Weren't you threatening to dock Psycho?
What does that have to do with
No,
anything?
no,
Wait,
no.
don't even take the bait. Don't even take the bait. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait.
Wait, Destiny, no, Destiny,
Aiden, you were part of that
her bring up
call.
my past drama?
Hold on.
She just,
We
I'm
can
sorry,
have-
she
hold
just,
on, we can have
she
that
just brought, she
conversation
just brought up a
another day.
past
We're not
doxing
having that
act. She
conversation
just,
today.
okay, I'm just so we're
I don't
clear.
know her.
Just so
I
we're
don't know
clear.
anything about
Just so
her.
we're
It's
clear.
possible.
She just
I will
brought up a
disavow
past
everything
doxing.
she is.
Okay, I know.
She
I
just
need to
brought
interrupt
up
Aiden really
a
quick.
past.
Stop.
Why did this?
Stop.
Why did nobody? Why didn't?
Stop. Stop.
So
Aiden,
Today
you
we're
asked me
talking-
in the course
you
of that
too.
call
You
if
too.
it was a joke.
You too. What we're talking about today, right, is the Snark server, the debate that Aiden had with Destiny, and who is still distributing my docs. Those are the three things that I am curious about.
Well, then
and
why
that
didn't you
I would
interrupt
like to
her?
talk
Well, then why
about.
didn't you interrupt her when she was bringing up an unrelated allegation of doxing
I
against
brought
me?
her
and a
on
completely
because
separate...
she said that she was there when my docs was discussed, and I wanted to see what she had
Yeah,
to
but it's
say.
interesting to notice there was no moderation at that point when she went off topic to try to bring up an accusation against me in an unrelated matter. Yet when I do it, that's when we want to interrupt and take issue with that. I think it's like
asked
clear.
you, yeah.
I think
and
it's like
I asked
obvious.
you about the Leo Convoy stuff because I want you to. I want to get a better understanding of what you think when you what you mean when you say doxing.
Well, and maybe I
Because
was just asking about
personally
Ico to figure
believe
out
that what
you
you
mean.
did was still disseminating a dox in like a way that was irresponsible and could have possibly caused harm to the party. involved.
I could actually totally agree with you that it was irresponsible for
Yeah.
sure. I just don't think it was doxing.
I don't think that like this whole like it's only doxing when it's this hyper specific definition.
Well,
I
it's
don't
not
think that's really like
hyper-specific.
benefiting anybody in this discussion because the problem is that we're invoking harassment on people that are uninvolved parties in this, right?
You
So
consider
even
it
it doesn't matter
doxing.
how
Didn't
you
you
got
consider it
the
doxing?
information,
Yeah, but
you
did-
still
don't-
decided
don't you
to
consider
harass
it-
an uninvolved
Don't
party.
you consider it doxing when people post your face that you streamed with your camera on?
No, I don't.
You accused
What do
Spicy
mean?
Chat in the debate with me.
No,
you
I've
accused-
never accused that. I've never.
Because
No,
there
I
was
don't
a
know what you're
second-
talking about, Aiden.
Because there was a second. It was
Okay,
literally
you
in
might
the
be
debate with me,
repeating
publicly available.
stuff that's
Thanks
just
for
like
calling
through the
in.
Publicly
grapevine.
available.
Yeah. Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah, just so we're clear, that did happen. It's publicly available, but
Fair enough. I don't know. I just find this is my problem. Well, can I just ask you this, Aiden? Do you now believe or trust Destiny more than you did before the debate after having found out that he was simply correct and you were incorrect in the nature of the server?
on the specific claim that there was wrongdoing occurring in that server, obviously, because I've seen evidence
Okay,
that
but
wrongdoing was
would
occurring in
you-
that server.
So since he was correct on that, does it in your mind make it more likely that his other claims might also be correct?
Sort
Does
of.
the chance of that increase in your mind at all?
Sort of. It's going to depend on the claim because I obviously know that Destiny is personally connected to this story and has vested interest in making a lot of the people involved look bad. And just with that fact in mind, and it's the same thing, by the way, with the which is why I wasn't immediately accepting of like claims that were being made against Destiny in regards to the fucking whatever her name is, the Brit shit or whatever, right? I believe I will be like I'll take it on a claim by claim basis, and I'll try to figure out whether or not it's like a case of is he attempting to do some narrative control to flip something to make the opposition look bad, or could there be like something genuinely there? And there could be, right? In this instance, there was, especially when it pertained to you. I'd have to take it on a claim by claim basis, but my standard is going to be I'm going to need some evidence before I just accept a claim at face value. And I have that with everybody, right? I have that with everybody. even when it's claims that work against you guys. All I ask for is evidence. Believe it or not, I don't want the people around you to get doxxed because it's not a good thing to do and it looks bad for me. And if that was occurring and I was told about it and provide evidence for it, I am totally willing to take corrective action.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What is confusing about that?
I think that, again, I suspect, and I can't prove, that you seem to be very eager and willing to take people's word for it when they say that no bad actions are occurring here. But when you were presented with, first of all, when I was presented with evidence and you simply did not trust my word, and then later on, right, when more evidence came out and things like that, have you switched your position on JStalk on this?
Have I switched my position in regards to what specifically?
Sure, to his actions in regards to Destiny and their little beef.
So I haven't even begun to try to dive into that because it's just super convoluted. But if I haven't made a claim that he either did or didn't do something, I don't really know. Just for context, I only recently reestablished communication with this guy. I've heard allegations that he was distributing CP, and then I looked into that. I didn't. I've heard a defense, and I've heard a counterclaim. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, if you're claiming that some significant wrongdoing is occurring, I'd be happy to look into it. But I'm not close to JStalk or anything. We don't really talk.
Okay.
I'm curious. What's the consensus opinion on Doobie right now?
I don't really, I don't know. In regards to the minors role in the politics or whatever, I think that's a fucking horrible idea.
Well, not just the minors role, but there's the minors role, the fact that he says he's made multiple copies of CP to help the FBI, that he lets pedos into the server, that they have a 16-year-old mod that they've met up with in real life, that he's okay with pedophiles coming in and talking sexually about things in the server that minors are looking at. These are all yeah.
Yeah, that's a completely responsible moderation or whatever. I don't know Doobie at all. I spoke to this guy once 4 years ago on a Prime Case panel. I'm not you have to understand. I'm not this locked in. I'm
yeah. I'm not saying you're a lot. I'm not expecting you. I'm not so much expecting you to have a strong opinion. I'm curious. Why do you think that nobody else in that circle seems to be talking about it at all?
Well, probably because they believe that your description, probably because they believe that your description is maybe inaccurate. I would imagine, or
well,
that
Doobie
you're
hasn't contested any of the description I just gave. Literally, he said half the things, or all the things actually that I've tweeted out. They're just.
Well, has Quayman or JStalk ever come out and endorse the notion of having minors in the politics server?
No, but they just don't address it. They won't talk about it, and they just fix it on me.
Well, I mean, if asked about it and if they're asked about it directly and refuse to talk about it, then I'll absolutely call them for that because I think it's a horrible idea to have minors in your servers, right?
Okay. I'd be curious. Well, not just minors, but also minors, and the fact that the server owner admits that there are pedophiles in there. He's okay with them hunting minors so that he can collect CSAM to give to the FBI to turn these people in, and these are all claims that Doobie's made. Yeah.
He said he's okay with pedophiles being in the server to hunt minors.
Because it allows him to help. You're laughing, but I know it's still.
It's just a crazy.
It is crazy. I do agree with you. No, I'm not. I'm actually not making fun of you. It is crazy, but he's literally said this because it allows him to hunt some of these guys and then turn them into the FBI and everything. There's an explicit audio of him talking about how he's okay with pedophiles having discussions about, or it depends on the context, but it can be okay for them to have discussions about sexual activity while there are minors in the voice chat talking as well. These are all things he said. I'm not accusing you of not looking into it. I'm just curious, assuming everything I'm saying is true or half of it is true, and I've tweeted out tons of clips of all this stuff, and Doobie hasn't denied any of it. It's kind of weird that just Gun and Quayman and these guys don't even talk about it, right?
Well, okay. So if what you're saying is exactly as it occurred, then yes. I would venture to guess that if I was to look into it, there would probably be some dispute in your description, which they would probably provide as a justification why they're not talking about it. I'd have to listen to that argument and then accept it based on
for $10. Just real quick, for $10, Parallax
What's
says Steven is lying through his teeth right now.
About
Doobie
what?
has never said this.
Said which thing? I can probably find it on my Twitter if you want. I'll also be right. 1 sec.
I don't know. He's getting it. If you want to come on, Para, just jump backstage and we can talk about it. But these are the claims.
Is Doobie allowed to call in? Because someone in my chat is implying that he might not be allowed in here. Is that true? Or
well, it depends who. I banned some people. Who is it?
No, I'm saying would Doobie himself be allowed to come in here?
That's up to for this discussion. I would be okay with it.
Okay. Well, so
but again, I now have me and Doobie are not friends, to be clear. I think that
I know, but if the guy's having like serious claims made about him, I think he's a right
but
to come in and
I would
dispute
not
them.
have an issue if Doobie wanted to answer to this and he wanted to jump backstage and be pulled in. Fair enough. I would not object to it.
Do you think that do you also think it's weird that Justical is like so afraid of touching the Cherry stuff that he is like willing to cede any conversation, debate, like challenge Dan and then backed out from it? What do you think he's hiding there, or why do you think he has that position on that?
Because I think he's too personally connected on that front, obviously, and to talk about it would probably involve like getting into personal details about her or himself that are probably unideal for him to talk about. I agree that I'm somebody of the belief that you should always show up for the debate.
Well, wait, isn't it kind of weird that he was so okay digging into so many personal details around me and having Cherry on his stream while lying about dating her for months? Isn't that kind of not fair?
I mean, I think that would probably be a double standard, obviously, right?
And kind of misleading too, right?
If he said that he hadn't been dating her and he was, that would be misleading.
Okay.
If what you're saying is true, I would agree with your descriptive statements. The only contention would be, obviously I haven't looked into it, so I'm not accepting that as it's 100% true. But if it is, then I think that would be an accurate. Probably it would be accurate to describe the scenario you've just laid out as misleading. The only contention would be I just want to figure out if that happened.
Sure.
Interesting.
Provide evidence that that accurately demonstrated his claim. Evidence was provided to you personally that was not given to me that demonstrated the claim. But in the course of that debate, it was not presented. When I was given that evidence after the fact, I revised my position. But from the claim that there was not enough evidence to justify the descriptive statement being made, I believe I was correct in that, and that wasn't disputed in its entirety at the time. Yeah.
Okay. I guess we'll let people decide for themselves. Did you have anything that you wanted to talk to me or Destiny about, that you wanted to question us or have me answer for?
Do you think that just curious, do you think that if Justical ever made the statement, I will literally never fuck somebody from this community in a million years, book it and cancel me if I ever fail to live up to this? If Justical had made that
one.
If he had made that statement while secretly dating Cherry, while platforming her allegations against me and saying that they had no romantic relationships, that would be pretty fucked, right?
Yeah, and I've called on that one. So I've seen the exact message you're referring to. I gave Jay Stock shit for the Cherry stuff. That was part of the reason. I was kind of poking fun at that at the time in an unrelated conversation we were having. That was part of the reason we initially felt I've given him shit over that, right? I absolutely believe that like you said that statement isn't true, and it would be retarded to say something like that. End of slating.
Food Chops, hello.
Hello, hi.
You had something to say? Go ahead.
Yes. So, Aiden, you said that I was running from you.
Well, because you were.
What is the topic? What is the topic you want to talk about?
I don't even remember what I wanted to debate you on at the time. I just remember you were making a claim about me on stream, and I wanted to debate you on a.
Okay, so just to be very clear, okay, I have debated people who are far smarter than you, okay, and even they ran away. All right, so it's not that.
Wow.
It's not about that. It's that you. Like, I already debated you 2 times. Okay, like what else do you want to talk about? I guess that we haven't.
Well, you're
already
making.
covered.
I don't remember exactly. So obviously, I said this weeks. It's weird that you're coming in now. Well, Destiny's here to follow up on that debate because I'd asked you.
Well,
How long
I
ago did I
mean-
ask you to debate me? I don't remember exactly what I wanted to debate you
Just
on at the
ignore him.
time. I just
ignore
remember.
him, okay?
I
If
just
he
remember.
says
I just
anything, I'll
remember.
shut him up, okay?
No, I'm
If
no,
he-
I'm
if he
no,
says
no.
anything,
I'm
I'll
not
shut
saying
up.
he's doing. I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong right now. I'm saying it's just like I think it's a little cowardly for you to not take the offer up at the time and only now show up when he's here. I think that's like a little bit cowardly, right?
Well, it's because Wick told me. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, Aiden's
Well,
here.
you
I'm like,
okay? So you didn't know that I was trying to debate you at the time?
Okay, would you consider it cowardly?
Can you
like,
answer my
after debating
question?
you twice?
Can you answer my
Like,
question?
Why would you
Can you answer
consider
my
it cowardly after
question?
debating you
Can you answer
twice
my
and then-
question? Did you know that I wanted to debate you at the time?
Are we gonna debate about the topic you want to talk about?
So you
Okay,
can't answer,
so
you
hold
can't
on.
answer the question.
Hold on,
Got
both
it.
of you. If you guys are just going to argue about another debate that has nothing to do with this, I don't particularly give a shit.
Yep.
I don't care. Do you have
So
anything
true.
for Aiden on this specific topic that we're talking about tonight?
Nope. Outside of the fact that I think I just feel bad for Aiden, just primarily because it just feels like he's being used as a pawn by people like Queeman and Jay Stelk. I find it kind of sad that Queeman and Jay Stelk wouldn't debate Steven after that one, especially like Chud Logic blowout, right? And I think that Aiden, I think you're just being
Is
used.
Queeman refusing a
Yeah.
debate with Steven? I don't.
Well, what Queeman could do right
No,
now.
I mean,
Hold
Steven
on,
has
just
said
real
many
quick.
times,
What
like, oh yeah,
Queeman
you
could
can
do
come
right
in.
now, if he wanted, and someone could DM him, right? And I'm sure people will. He could jump backstage right now in my Discord, and I will pull him in, and he can have a chat with Destiny and I. That is something that he could do. But Food Shops, if you don't have anything else, thank you for calling in.
Nope, nothing else. Yeah, all right.
And we'll talk to you later. Okay. But
Okay, wait.
J-Stalk too, right? What's
that
up,
guy's
Destiny?
nowhere near any of this. I'm just curious. Have you seen all the Doobie things?
No, I've seen.
Wait, no, I'm asking. I was asking Wick. Have you seen the Doobie things?
I haven't. My big beef with Doobie is he has broken my trust a few times. In the most recent time, I do believe that he used what should have been a private thing as basically a human shield to protect him from criticism.
Sure, that's fine.
In a way that I found reprehensible.
Okay, wait, I'm curious. Can we just run through a few things? I'm just curious what the...
Hello?
Wait, he'll come back.
Yeah, it might have been his internet.
I want to know what the Wick TV audience thinks of some of these things. I feel like they're kind of crazy, but maybe I'm just exaggerating.
Watch.
Yeah, sorry, my shit just crashed.
Okay. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull them up. And hopefully people can read these. So, where is this from? Do we have context here?
I think they're just things that he's posted in his server.
Okay. Doobie says, I don't think I've ever verbally asked for consent from a woman. Thorfinn, yo, big Doobie fan. Vulcan, the Spanish Civil War is never really considered the starting point. Okay, who cares? Doobie says, and I've been with a lot of women. I hate listening to trans people speak. They either sound like fucked up, breathy, drug addict hookers or else. I think that's mean, but I don't think that's necessarily...
Yeah. Next one. Go ahead.
Give me a second. Boom, boom. Okay, Lethal Lance says, I think the question was, would you allow a pedophile to describe anal sex in the presence of a minor? And your answer was, it depends. Doobie says, that wasn't the question, shake my head. I think discussing sex around them is fine in some contexts. We're talking about primarily high school students right now. They've gone through sex ed. Anal sex? Anal cavity? Anal? Doobie says, as long as it isn't too graphic or flirty, I think it's fine. Would depend on the specific combo, though.
Here's a next one.
This is North says, did taking screenshots of the evidence mean you had CSAM on your computer? Doobie says, while I was reporting it, sure. This is why I mentioned the Gideon thing yesterday. Sometimes you do need to make copies of it to report it. Valorfax says, not the one for sending your own photos at your own consent. And Doobie says, then you delete all the copies. Obviously, I'll show you.
Next one.
Okay. This is from his admin chat. It looks like in the Politics Discord server. Parth says, yes, I did. Of course, I can do that. What do you mean? Because I told them everyone to join the discussion and reach common ground before detaining. And when I wrote that, I actually didn't even look into that case. It was due to unexplained detains that was previously dealt with. Par says, I have a few stuff to say on that. I feel like it doesn't really address what I said, but I'll try to respond after I complete this thing quickly. Doobie says, take your time, sir. I'm curious, though. If we found out that this guy lived in a country with an age of consent of 14, and he was talking to a 15-year-old from another server sexually in DMs, would you say he should be banned? Or do you think we shouldn't ban because there's no connection to this server? Knives says, I don't know why you're acting like Terry doesn't know any better. Dude literally sends thousands of DMs to minors and spends retarded amounts of money on e-girl who are openly taking advantage of him. It's not healthy for this dude to be on the server. Knives also, in response to the I'm curious, though, question of Doobie, says, I'm pretty sure Discord is strict that sexual conversations cannot occur with individuals under 18. Doobie says, yeah, but if it's happening elsewhere, why would it be on us to enforce that?
Next one.
There was a 16-year-old girl at the mod team meetup because she was also a mod.
What is he referring to his server there?
Yes. Next, quick kind of a weird issue he had with a person on that server. Tell me what you think he's doing there.
So Doobie says, fingers crossed, I dug into Lucian a bit and narrowed him down to like 75 students. Excuse me, Fleek says, 75 students? Fuck does that mean? Doobie says, I found his college in the section that houses freshmen and singles. So I know he's in one of 2 dorms. I looked through the clubs at the school because he'd mentioned a club in his major, and they're like 75% Asian. So if it's actually white, he's one of 100 students. And that's with like bare minimum info. Excuse me, Fleek says, give me his info so I can dox him next, JK.
Then last thing, just a quick audio thing, so we don't have the out of context meme. Let it play for like 3 minutes, and then you can decide if you want to keep
on the
listening.
server. Actually, like molested children, right? Because I think that person would be dangerous to have on the server. But I mean somebody who has like an attraction to children. Because I consider pedophilia to be potentially. But I think that pedophilia is like it's a paraphilia, right? So it's a mental illness, basically. We consider it to be a mental illness, and these people don't choose to have it. They develop that way.
Question for that.
I think it'd be very interesting to like. I mean, I know a couple of people who are pedophiles and who are going to like therapy and been going to therapy for years to try to like.
So you're saying you allow?
It's sort of like conversion therapy, where they try to shift their attraction upwards over like years of therapy and like conditioning. It's very, very difficult, and it's usually not successful.
So you'd allow pedophiles in the server? You'd allow pedophiles on the server?
I've got a question to that. No, you've already asked that question. I want to ask a question. If there was like, you was allowed to allow pedophiles within the server, would you get rid of the minors then to protect them, or would you keep the minors within the server also?
Yeah, no, I would still allow them.
What kind of fucking conversation did I join?
Like the reality is that most people who molest children are not like pedophiles. Right?
Wait,
They're, like, sexual opportunists.
Doobie, you would allow pedophiles?
When I say pedophile, I mean somebody has a primary attraction to children, right? So when they are thinking about things they're attracted to, children are first, right? That's a pedophile. But if somebody is attracted to adult women primarily, but if the opportunity to fuck with a 15-year-old comes up, they're going to do it. That person's just a sexual opportunist, and that's the majority of child molesters, right? So it's kind of
still a lot of people in my
so the risk exists just having adults on the platform.
Wait, let me ask this real quick. Doobie, you would allow pedophiles and minors in the server together?
Yeah.
The
reality is that up to like 5% of the male population has like pedophilic tendencies, right? And that's just like the pedophilic tendencies. I'm not talking about sexual opportunists. I'm sure more of the male population is sexual opportunists who would fuck.
Is this all, or do we?
Right?
Are you being dead ass right now?
Yeah, 100%.
No, I mean, it's up to you.
You said who wouldn't fuck a
Your
15-year-old?
creepy fetishes onto the whole general populace, my guy. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, like
none of guys. Keep it in perspective. None of you guys own a giant server where everyone's expected to talk about different opinions and get along. I'm sure, developed this position because of the fact that he runs a server like this.
So did I hear this correctly? And maybe you guys can, maybe Aiden, since you're kind of like the neutral party here. Doobie says that he would allow pedophiles and minors in the server together. That's one thing I heard. that seems it's weird because people give me shit for having food shops in the server, right? Even though I have no minors in my server, and if we find a minor in my server, we ban it. Do they have a similar problem with Doobie here? I'm very curious.
Well, personally, I mean, I would, if this is all the contact, assuming this is all the contacts, and it seems like this last part wasn't contacts. I think this is like hyper debate for autism to the point where you're like trying to logically reason through wildly reckless decisions, and I think this is obviously like a fucking horrible like thing to even risk. So yeah, I mean, you're not gonna find any defenses from me on that one, right?
Do you think, I'm just curious because everybody made a big deal about me having child porn and Willie calling the FBI was the right decision and all this, based on the fact that he himself said, Doobie said that he makes copies of child porn. We don't actually know if he gives any of that to the FBI, right? Do you think it would be valid to make a report about him?
If you, I mean, I guess if you had like...
He said it to a person. He literally said, I make copies of it, yes, before deleting it. He said that exactly, right?
I guess I didn't even I don't know if I even defended Willie Mack reporting you to the FBI.
No, I'm not saying you defended or anything. I'm just saying that, like, for whatever evidence people think there is of me, and if they thought I was just coping about being in a court case or whatever, there was no pressure on Doobie. He just freely offered that he makes copies of child porn from minors on his server that are being hunted by the pedophiles that he allows to hunt there.
I guess to remain consistent on it, but in his instance, right, the context would indicate he's probably volunteering this information because, I mean, he's probably volunteering this information because he doesn't actually think that he's doing anything wrong, when in reality, obviously, we know that possession of CSAM is illegal, and if he was now admitting to being in possession of it, that is illegal, right? I don't know if he seems to indicate that he's not presently in possession because he's saying he just used it to make the reports, but that would still be illegal, right? At that point, it's like, but if you're to report it, like, it seems to indicate that he doesn't even have it on his shit anymore. So I don't know what that would get you, but I mean,
he says it.
I guess to remain consistent.
I think it's also, isn't it kind of weird that on the server there's literally a tag for minors? There's like 1,900 people that are tagged as being kids
so
on
I
the
had,
server.
so I've had that. So I got that. I don't know if I have to reach. I rejoined the server recently to make sure to check if I still had it. I was given that tag. I'm not I'm not a minor, but I know I look a little younger or whatever. So I had that tag. I know I can vouch from personal experience that the only thing that tag got me was annoyance because I joined and people wouldn't be willing to interact with me, and I'm pretty sure I was removed from at least one VC because I was suspected being a minor, and I had to like prove I wasn't, I guess, and I didn't want to have to go send people my fucking ID or anything. So yeah, but I don't. That's obviously there's no reason to have minors in spaces like that, right? I mean, especially it gets just a liability, right?
So I'm being told,
Wait.
Destiny, that
before you're being told something, you had a mod earlier, I think it was a mod, Parallax, that donated $10 and said, Steven is lying through his teeth right now. Doobie has never said this. What did I lie about?
Good question. Now, I will say, and Parallax told me to tell you this, that he, let me read it directly, that he's not jumping on a stream with you after a DGGer implied he was going to dox me, and I'm quoting, going to dox me, then held a 90-minute argument about me in politics. And that is on Destiny.
Wait, why would that matter? If they were going to dox him, wouldn't they just say, well, I'll dox... Wait, hold on. If that DGGer said, assuming this is even a DGGer, right? If they had said, well, I'm going to dox Doobie if he doesn't show up and debate Destiny, does that mean he would suddenly debate me? That's like the dumbest argument you could ever give for anything, right?
I'm telling you what he said to tell you.
Well, sure, I know. I'm just illustrating how absurd that argument is, right?
Wait, is that the Parallax guy saying he personally was threatened to be doxxed, or is he talking about Doobie threatening to be doxxed?
No, he's saying that he was a couple days ago, and he did send me screenshots of someone named Reverse Knee, and saying, this is what he said. He said, yeah, and this is Reverse Knee saying it. He says, yeah, and when others are aware, you're going to have to find a new hobby, big boy. I'm going to love watching you flail for a real job, you fat fucking loser. These are the things that he said. And this is what Parallax told me that he felt was a doxing threat under the context that the conversation took place in. And he's telling me that this is why he won't jump on a stream with you, because he is worried that he's going to be doxxed.
If he was so worried about the doxing thing, one, didn't I make these threats to him personally like a year ago? And didn't he still continue to go from server to server arguing why it would be fair game to dox my 14-year-old kid?
No, this is
He's talking
Parallax.
about Parallax.
Hold on. No, Doobie. Parallax never did that.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Hold on. I thought that Parallax was relaying a message from Doobie.
No, this is Parallax.
That's them
personally.
saying,
Yep,
they're
yep,
so they're
yep.
independently retarded. I thought they were conveying somebody else's retardation. Okay.
Yep. Nope. That's his statement. Not.
Is it not? Do you not think it would be? Do you not think it's fair for people to reasonably be concerned about getting doxxed by someone from your community if they were to get in a debate with you because it would blow their name up within your community itself? Like you'd brought up clips of me prior to me talking to you, but I never got like that much shit over those clips. It wasn't until I actually like went and spoke to you that I started getting people to like threaten to contact my family.
Wait. Can you show Wick? Can you convey to Wick one of those threats right now?
Yeah, one of the threats made against me.
No. You said people were threatening to contact your family.
Yes. So, for example, I think it was someone saying, I'm a pedophile and my brother is about to get a call about me and my school. This person only started replying to me after I had gone and debated you.
Wait. Where is this at?
On X. I can link it to Wick.
I'm just curious to look through the account.
Do you mind if I show people, like if I put it on stream or no?
Sure.
Once you DM it to me, I haven't gotten the DM.
Hold
But
on.
once you DM it to me, we can do that.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just fuck my. Here it is. My shit got fucked up. All right. Control. There it is.
Okay, pull it up.
This is just the most recent one, by the way. I mean, I can go back. Obviously, I'm not blaming you. I don't think you can. I mean, obviously, I think calling me fair game kind of leaves it open to interpretation. But I'm only saying.
So this was sent 16 hours ago. You said, "Is this true?" This reply to this person making a poll on whether you're not a doxer or not. Apparently, 90% of the people think you are.
No, they had one like and 50 votes. That whole account is operated by AI.
Well, it
It's
has
an automatic
17
account.
likes in this, but fair enough. Batman Turd says that you're a pedophile. Yes, and your brother is about to get a call about you and your school.
Yes, and then in another reply, I can find that one as well. He was accusing me of working
Same
with
person,
Doobie to distribute CSAM.
Okay, and this is someone with
yeah.
21 followers.
Yeah, and this Denal person had also said they were going to contact my family. So, and you've retweeted them, by the way. I'm not saying obviously you could have predicted that.
Wait, hold on, which person?
Denal.
Oh, wait, that person said they were going to contact your family?
Yeah, they were going to let my grandma or something know about my drama and shit or whatever, and my grandma in Florida or some shit. It was like I'd have to go look for the specific tweet. I don't have that up right now.
Well, let me just ask you, Destiny, if that's true, if this Denal person is threatening to contact his family, are you going to do anything about it or what?
I mean, I don't generally.
I don't expect you to
condone that kind of behavior. At this point, I am a little bit indifferent to it, just because I've had to deal with it for so long, and none of these other communities ever really want to take a strong stance against it. Just curious, if you had to guess just by looking at who this person follows, like where this guy's mind is, I'm so curious. I just looked this account up, and this is just like the account. This is the first one that was linked. I didn't plan this. I don't know anything about anything or whatever, but I'm just curious.
So this is that Batman Turd's following list. He follows me. Wow. He follows Queeman, Goku Nuru, Windy Fox, David Sachs, Fan, Tris's Birdie, Cook Sucks. I don't know who these people are.
Do you not think it's... Do you not think if he's like, some of his replies are about like me distributing CSAM with this Doobie guy who I've only spoken to once on a Prime Case panel like 4 years ago or some shit, right? If that was the broader claims, is it not fair to probably assume he's coming from this like broader space? I'm not, once again, I don't think either of you are responsible for this. I'm not bringing this up to accuse you of wrongdoing. The reason I'm bringing this up is to substantiate why others might have some reasonable fear that if they got into a conversation, they'd potentially be a risk of being doxxed.
My curiosity is like, how do you even know this guy's a DGG guy?
Well, he's not, to be clear, he's not necessarily saying he's a DGG. He's just saying that if you engage in a certain level of conversation with me, then that means that people might rightfully be afraid of having a conversation with me, right? Because they're going to get harassed by people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I actually think that's actually fair to point out. But then I would say that that's kind of been my entire issue with this community for a long time, is that this is the exact type of behavior that they engage in. I linked that other tweet. I would be surprised if this is actually a fan of mine. It might be a bot. It might be one of the snarker
he
people.
says this isn't real moron Jew.
Especially given the follow list.
Yeah, you can't. There's a million like fucking 20 follower accounts that have been popping up. So like obviously we don't know who's coming from where, but that's why I'm not blaming anyone for this. I'm just saying like this is a hot situation. Obviously, people on both sides are getting fucked with, and it seems like the people or the bots or whoever that are expressing willingness to fuck with people only came about after I spoke to you. Not like saying that you. I'm just saying there would be.
Well, yeah, but that's the whole thing that I think Destiny has been pointing out, is that if you engage with him, people will target you. They did me. They did Tolly. They did Stardust. They did others, right? And it looks like that they're doing it to you.
Yeah, but if this person is accusing Doobie of like disseminating CSAM, I would
imagine
to
that
guess.
this guy's a false flag. I'd imagine that this guy is someone who's a shit stirrer, who's trying to. Well, we know they do this. We know they go and pretend to be DGGers. They go into other communities. They start shit, right? And they try to paint DGG as the worst possible. We know they do this.
Well, is DGG even anti-doxing? I don't even think that's true.
My community. Wait, so just to be clear, my community does not do the doxing. There's a reason why it's posted from my account and my account only, and we don't really have a community of doing it in my chat. It doesn't really happen. There's a reason why when people accuse my community of doing it, it's just like random people from Twitter and stuff. Or it's just me.
So people from your community, to your knowledge, have not doxed.
No. I mean, sometimes I know there have been like big streams in the past where people will post a thing like in YouTube chat, but we ban it when we see it. But no, my community doesn't have. That's just not what we do in my community. It's just not a thing.
And to be clear, I have been contacted, or I've been in contact with mods in the DGG Reddit and also the DGG Discord server, and they have told me if I know of or see anyone who is engaged in doxing, to tell them, and that they will take care of it. They will ban that person.
Wait, just to be clear, is anyone disputing that? And I know you have like your own respective justifications for it or whatever. Mm-hmm. Can we agree that reposting or disseminating J-Stock's face is dox info, right? Even if you think it's justified, that would probably be dox info.
Yeah,
right?
I wouldn't do it. I would.
I mean, I guess if you want to say that, then that probably exists as a somewhat of a norm. Yeah.
Yeah, so people in your community have continuously spread that like everywhere. So I feel like there probably is like some level of like acceptance of doxing in the
for Justicle's face, yeah, but nobody else's dox.
That would be that. Well, yeah, but that would be dox info if the face.
You can call it dox info, but it's substantial. This is different. It's not like if you talk to me and my community is going to start doxing you. It's of Justicle, right?
Sure, I know you claim Justicle. I just thought the original claim was that your community
still not good. But yes, it's a fundamentally different thing than anyone who talks to Destiny is now going to be doxxed by DGG if they have a fight with him or disagree with him strongly.
Sure. I like a couple. I don't think this guy's from my community.
Yeah, he's this is continuously. This is 2 tweets that I've shown in a row that I've been sent. He obviously has an anti-Zionism problem. It looks like so.
What do you think about like Queeman and them, the obsessive coverage over? I actually don't know how old you are. I don't mean that as like a slight or whatever.
I'm 21.
Okay. Were you around like a couple years ago when they were obsessively covering Stardust?
I was not. I didn't know Queeman at that point. I was actually I was friendly with Stardust at that point. She helped me with my homework and shit. I wasn't like I wasn't around for that. I don't know it seems like the shit with Stardust was just like them being like really, really fucking mean to her. Which at some level I was like initially sympathetic,
sure.
but then
like
I realized
mean
that,
and racist and like making fun of her deceased father and like attacking her relationship and
I've called people out that where I disagree with this side on it is like I believe, for example, I'm somebody that believes that like edgy humor is okay, but I believe in like audience, time, place, etc. There's no reason to be making fun of somebody's dead father, and when we're trying to make like a serious argument, all that does is makes us look horrible to fucking normies, right? B, obviously it's just like a sort of a dick move to do, but I'm not super sympathetic to her herself because it seems like she's demonstrated a total willingness to engage in the shit flinging. She told a trans woman that she wasn't like a real woman and shit, and she was acting like she doesn't behave like a woman, or she said she's transphobic to that specific individual because the two of them were like disputing.
Wait. Who is the other person? Just curious.
Oh, it was Jalen.
Do you remember the context of these statements? I'm not
So
trying to pull
Jalen is
the context on you, but
yeah. So Jalen is like somebody that like Jalen is like a mentally ill like YouTuber or whatever that like has regularly like crashed out and had these like outbursts of anger. Had one in a conversation with me, and this person is very clearly unwell or whatever. But in the course of that, while like beefing with them and like it was like a call or something, Stardust had like made a comment akin to like they don't behave like a woman and they're gonna misgender them specifically, or they're transphobic to them specifically, because this person had like these like outbursts of anger and shit, which I think is like that's probably just like transphobic.
Sure. What is the justification for Queeman and them to obsessively cover Stardust from like a racist and like a vitriolically personal perspective just because Stardust has that beef with somebody else? Do you think that like Queeman was like defensively attacking Stardust on behalf of all trans people, on behalf of Jalen?
No, I'm not speaking for Quinn. I'm explaining why I don't think the whole like crying about like people being mean to her thing is necessarily so valid. I don't know if I don't think that was Queen's justification at the time. I'd have to look into it. I don't know his exact coverage of her. In regards to like the going after her for like ethnicity shit, I called it out when I saw it at the time. I don't like agree with that. I think that I think it's okay to joke about things like racism, but I think you should be doing it with people you're friendly with who understand that it's a joke, not people you're legitimately beefing with, because then at that point I think it's in poor taste.
Do you think that they're just joking when they do it, or do you think it's like a legitimate, like all the DGGs, all the anti-Indian humor slurs that Queeman and Justical and all them engage in? Do you think it's just memes, or?
I don't think Queeman or Jay Stock unironically hate Indians. No,
not necessarily hate it. You can be racist and not necessarily hate people, right?
Sure, I guess so. Like, I guess what form of racist do you think they are?
They just think it's funny to make racist jokes, to make racist humor. If they see somebody of a certain race and they know that they can hit them on that point, then they just kind of like dig in on that. They would be as racist as much as Stardust would be transphobic, at least, right?
I said Stardust comment was transphobic, and she's being transphobic to that individual. But sure, I actually could have. You know what? Yeah, I'd agree. But I'd say that's why I guess I wouldn't necessarily care about her crying when it happened to her, because she seems to be totally fine with like edgy shit flinging in poor taste. She told, to my knowledge, I don't have the log on me, so I guess you can dispute it if you want. She told apparently somebody in Spicy Chat back when she was in it by the name of Mantis, who is a evidently suicidal, mentally ill, like user that has been made fun of a lot, whatever, to kill himself and shit. So it's like, for me, I don't really like, for like edgy shit flinging, I just don't necessarily have a whole lot of sympathy when you've evidently engaged in it repeatedly yourself.
Is there anybody that Queeman and Justical don't engage in edgy shit flinging with?
Probably. I couldn't name someone off the, like, on Earth. Yeah, probably. I just don't know who.
Do you think that when it came to like personal attacks or mining or digging in for personal info or whatever stuff, do you think that Justical and Queeman, or do you think that I started that between all of us?
In regards to the two of you, I think your personal, like when you say they were digging into your personal, I actually don't know who started that per se, but in regards to digging into your personal, everything that I've heard them talk about in the context of you was pertinent to like publicly available shit that got leaked by other people.
Well, what does that? I mean, what does that mean? I mean, technically, all of the Cherry stuff is publicly available shit, because Cherry posted that Justical said that he was going to be her Dr. K. She posted that he forced her to go to a free day. Yeah,
I don't take issue. I don't take issue if you want to go at J-Stalk over the Cherry shit. I don't take issue with that. The only issue I've taken, I don't think there was any reason to start posting and disseminating his face and like personally identifiable information, right?
Do you think that somebody is entitled to be anonymous or private, no matter what they say or do about somebody for no matter how long of a time period?
It's less so about entitlement. It's more like under like a rule utilitarian. Like, I believe that if we were to just accept the tactic and its usage in like an individual instance, even if you believe it's respectively justified, I believe that introduces the usage of the tactic in the broader conflict and inevitably leads to unintended targets being justified as well. So to, I guess, answer your question there, it's not. It isn't really about that for me. It's not like about whether they're entitled to or not, right?
What would you do from my perspective if, like, especially after the court case dropped, if every single person in my circle just kept being doxxed on Kiwi Farms, and then everybody in Gisticle and Queen circle was just kind of like giggling about that?
I would unilaterally condemn this tactic, and if they were just laughing about that, and you were never utilizing this tactic yourself, I think you'd have you'd have much greater like position to appeal to morality and make them look bad, right?
Well, I had that position for months, but it didn't really do anything for me, right?
Well, by the time they were involved with you at all, hadn't like there already been numerous instances of you being like either dox adjacent or like I brought this example up to you. Like I mean, I don't know where you stand on it now, but like in regards to, like the telling people to go to Kiwi Farm shit, I know that like you wanted to give them I think that is like dox adjacent to even be like linked to or contributing to that site.
Let's assume even that was true, that 4 years or 5 or 6 years ago, however long ago, that was considered dox adjacent. That means that people have carte blanche to just dox me and my family forever?
No, absolutely not.
So then let's kick that behind. So let's say that in my case,
that wasn't what I was trying to say.
Well, sure, but like I'm curious, like why do you think, from your perspective, from what you've heard from everything, why do you think I wanted to unmask, or I unmasked Gisticle?
I think you're mad at him, very mad at him, and I think that's a good way to fuck with somebody in regards to it effectively.
Why do you think I'm mad at him?
I think that he's been like a super harsh critic of yours. He's like A-logged you. I'd probably be mad at someone that was A-logging me. It depends on, I guess, the nature of. It seems like a lot of the. I just personally have always found coverage of you in regards to A-logs. Not that I disagree with that. I just found it boring, so I wasn't necessarily like super engaged.
Sure. Well, I think if the doxing thing is going to be as big of a deal, like, isn't it kind of important to know, like, what do you think I would say why I doxed Gisticle or unmasked Gisticle?
You probably have some justification due to something he said or did that I don't know about. That would make it like super convoluted. I'd have to be in the weeds of it to know. I know you'd believe it was justified because he did something.
Just for my edification, can you give us that argument now, Destiny? Because
sure. So let's say hypothetically. I'm dating a girl at the time who had been dating a quasi celebrity person. I don't want to get too deep into it, but this person has active following on a snowboard on Lolcow or whatever. But at the start of my court case, every single person in Gisticle's server was obsessively trying to force every single person in my orbit to separate from me. Sometimes this is just done via anonymous accounts online. Other times we see people, that one stoner, cognitively impaired chick, Aiko, we see her messaging Hutch saying, like, you need to separate from Destiny, he's a rapist or whatever. Sometimes you see it posted on Kiwi Farms where they're saying the same message, like, these guys need to get away from Destiny, he's a rapist. And then on Gisticle's Discord server, because I was still dating this girl at the time and she's not really a public person, but they wanted her to make a public statement separating from me on Twitter. As that wasn't happening, somebody called Kelly Jean in that server was cross-posting a whole bunch of stuff, rumors, and then pointing people towards this Lolcow thread about the girl that I was currently dating. And there was no way to make them not do that or to get them to chill on that. And then they would also, at points, they can't directly link to the Kiwi Farms thread, but people would say things like, oh, like, check out like post like 449 or 1449 or whatever for this. I can't like it, but like, this is hilarious and blah, blah, blah. So all that behavior had been happening in Gisticle's Discord, and they were all obviously fine with it. They were joking and memeing about it before I had ever posted anything about Gisticle, like his docs information.
Did you warn him to stop before you?
Of course. I've said a million times. Like, I don't know why people are targeting my girlfriend at the time. She's not a public figure. This is kind of fucking insane. But the obsession was because she was one of the only people that hadn't made a strong public statement about me. They needed her to say something or break up with me. That was at least explicitly what Kelly and I think others on the server were saying, that it's crazy that this person hasn't broken up with Destiny yet. And so we're going to keep posting from their Lolcow thread and make fun of them and make fun of how they look and other stuff, explicit and unexplicit, about them. Yeah.
So Cowbunga Andy in my chat says Destiny's argument literally justifies doxing Wick with the same logic. Just real quick, I don't remember posting anyone's docs. I don't remember posting anyone's Kiwi Farm link threads. I don't remember targeting anyone for associating with anyone. Like, what do you mean, his argument? So as I understand your argument, Destiny, I don't know if I agree with it or not, but as I understand your argument, is that they were going after your girlfriend at the time, and they were pressuring her, trying to drive a wedge, posting her Kiwi Farm stuff, and you wanted them to stop. They wouldn't stop, so you started doxing Gisticle. Is that An accurate.
Yeah, I guess also I forget this just because I don't care about the doxing shit. But also her docs was posted both on Lolcow and on Kiwi Farms, which they kept referencing over and over again. But I mean, like that, there was no way that I could. Yeah, go ahead.
So would you be adjusted? Okay, so if you have people in your server that are actively engaged in, let's say, doxing behavior or dox adjacent behavior, etc., would you believe the server owner would therefore be a justifiable target? As like a, are you doing it as like a? I'm not sure if this is like a revenge thing for you or a utilitarian thing. If you believe that's going to mitigate it or stop it, but is that like do you believe that's justified under that logic?
I guess what I try to think of is I try to think of like what would I expect, and I would expect that. Yeah. So like, for instance, if Gisticle and them started posting like direct doxes of me in their Discord server, which he doesn't ever do directly, obviously for plausible deniability, but I'm not going to sit here and cry about him doxing me, of course, because I'm posting his shit, obviously. If people in my community were doing it and I'm sitting there watching it, I mean, more or less I have responsibility for what goes on in my chat and in my community, so that's why I aggressively ban people that do things that I don't think are acceptable there. Yeah. But if the
got it.
Yeah.
But do you not realize, and by the way, I don't hold this, I'm just unilaterally say, do not dox Wick. Like if you do, obviously I want nothing to do with you here,
but Paul, hold on. Have you found out, by the way, because we've been going on a while, and I know you've been concentrating on the conversation. But have you found out?
As I said before, I can look into it when streams are. I could probably, when I actually go to look into it, I could probably give you an answer by the end of the day. I'd have to look into it, right? I actually just do not remember. I'm not here. I'm not vested in I'm defending arguments here. I'm not somebody that feels so linked to other people.
You called on the community to rally around to.
Yeah, because because
are you still doing that, Nico? Do you stand by that?
If Destiny disseminates what I believe to be a lie, I will absolutely call for people to go and combat it. Yes.
Hello.
Wait. I just want to run down this thing, and then you can do your thing, just real quick. Yeah. So like, what do you think? What should I do at that point? I guess if you're in my perspective, do you think that that's like over the line or over the threshold of me feeling like I don't know. I guess I just have to start like unmasking people in that server if they're going to be cross-posting and referencing like active KF threads about my girlfriend, active Lolcow threads about my girlfriend. That also have all my doxes and shit posts in there. But at that point, everybody had fucking been doxed on my side anyway.
You should talk about it and how, like, if you applied like moral pressure to the people around them over that and weren't engaging those acts yourself to stick by their standards and cut them, I wouldn't even be against that, right?
Yeah, but on their side, they're convinced that I'm basically like a fucking pedophile, rapist, serial woman abuser. So everything against me is justified. That's their perspective.
It seems like both sides are using that. People from, Wick's retweeting stuff that from an account trying to paint me as a wannabe murderer. Right.
Well, no, I understand.
Because I made an edgy joke in private.
Real quick, because people do this both sides thing. If I were to drop everything about these communities, do you think they would continue to obsessively post and talk about me?
If what you post actively combats any instance of like significant wrongdoing that they have been accusing you of, then I think that they obviously should. Will they? No, because I understand that at this point there's like going to be like a sunk cost fallacy, and some of these people are probably if you completely refuted it, there would absolutely be some people that would still sit there and insist that it was a win. But I think in regards to the people that I associate with, like Queeman or whatever, if you actively like refuted a story in its entirety with the evidence you presented, I think he would drop it.
Okay, so I feel like the issue that I always run into with people saying on both sides is that since the end of 2023, I don't care much for this style of content. I'm not even judging it. I did a lot of it in the past. I'm not here to say like, oh, I'm above it. I just don't have as much of an interest in it anymore. I want to do more like politically adjacent stuff. That's kind of where my interest is. But these people seem to only engage in this like obsessive style of content about me for months or years. And I don't know, from my perspective, like you can talk about moral high ground, but if every single person about me around me is getting consistently doxed by all these places that these people still like link to and talk about and giggle about constantly, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in that circumstance other than just start telling people like, hey, if we do any event together, if you're ever on my stream, like people are just going to start doxing and harassing you until you leave. I don't know what I'm supposed to do at that point. And I think it also says something that fear that I just gave, it doesn't really exist in these other communities. It's like a thing that only they do.
What do you mean in regards to the fear of like people like the fear of people doxing if you talk to them?
Correct.
Or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I would dispute the notion that all the people threatening the doxing are coming from one given community. I think you have a broad range of different groups of people that hate you for a variety of reasons. Obviously, you have opposition from the right. Obviously,
Yeah,
a lot
I
of the
understand
people-
that. But like, wait, what's the equivalent position on the right, or where are these communities of these people that dox me on the right? I've never even heard of these communities before.
Well, obviously, the thing about Kiwi Farms is, and I agree, a lot of the accounts that engage in doxing are like nameless and faceless, so we wouldn't necessarily know who's coming from where. But in regards to like those accounts or whatever, I'd imagine that some of the people contributing to the thread probably had gripes with you that predate coverage.
Sure,
by
I'm not
people
talking
like
about.
Quayman.
Just to be clear, I'm not talking about people that have gripes with me. I don't care if people criticize me or anything else.
Well, they contribute to your thread, right? Is it only like did your thread only? When was your thread like created? I feel like this predates Quayman, J Stalk.
Probably like a decade ago. But
yeah, so
I'm saying that like Quayman made video, like even when I got divorced from Melina, which was before any court case, like Quayman is making video after video, I think dozens of videos about like my divorce and how epic and based it was. You had when my my messages between me and Lauren Southern were leaked, President Sunday did like a dramatic reading of them and thought it was epic and based, and he was begging that solo guy for more DMs that he could read. Quayman and them had that solo guy was still active in Quayman's community for a week or two after he leaked all my shit and everybody else's stuff onto Kiwi Farms, and nobody seemed to care. Like
active in his community was
like
what do you
chatting
mean?
in chatting in his Twitch chat and chatting in his Discord.
Oh, in his Twitch chat? I mean, I don't know.
And in his Discord,
like...
and in his Discord. You're focusing on the Twitch chat and his Discord as well.
You're right. Yeah, in his Discord, if that's true, I think after Solo distributed the leaks of you, he should have been absolutely banned when it was confirmed that.
Sure, but I'm not talking about like what he should have done or what he shouldn't have done, but like, what do you think it says about the attitude in these communities if like that guy is
Wait,
like...
didn't he offer Quayman? I could be misremembering this. Didn't he make an offer to Quayman or something to give him, and Quayman refused that?
About for what?
I feel like I don't know if that rings a bell. I swear this happened. I could be.
Are you talking about when he tried to blackmail me? He said he wanted to come on my stream to chat, and then he wouldn't release anything else about me.
No, I feel like this was a DM exchange. I guess I can't really.
Hold on, did Quayman do that?
What?
Wait.
The blackmail you?
I thought we were talking
No.
Solo.
Solo did. The Solo guy did.
Solo. Okay, I got mixed up. Fair enough. Solo blackmailed you.
Do you remember the date of my leaks? It was in what's the 11th month? November 24th, right?
Yeah, I remember. I'm around that time. It was near New Year's.
I guess like I have other messages. I need to fucking do all this, but like this guy was still active in Quayman's community, talking to my good friend Ryle Kittenhouse in there. I just sent a DM to Wick. You can show it on stream or not, but that's from December 2nd. So I think this is like a week after.
So I can read this?
Sure. Or you can show it on stream. I don't care.
Okay. Let me show it on stream real quick. Hold on. Easier. This is, hold on. Solo says, is J Stalk dating Cherry? Raul Kittenhouse says, Lamau. Solo says they sit in private VC all day together. Wild.
Kind of funny that he knew that even that he knew that even way back then, that the Solo guy was watching the VCs enough that he could tell that they were dating. This is even before 2025. But
interesting.
But that's kind of wild, right? That
it is a little weird.
And everybody knew that this guy was leaking my shit because he was also in the DMs with President Sunday, who was like begging him for more information as well about me, which is also kind of crazy, right?
In regards to President Sunday leaking more shit about you and in communication with Solo.
That President Sunday is in DMs with the Solo guy, asking him for more leaks about me.
Yeah, that would be. I'd have to, once again, I don't know if there's any context there that would mitigate that, but as you've just described it, that sounds pretty bad. Sure. I'm admittedly like totally out of my territory. I'm like all the weeds like your people.
Yeah, so I guess I asked you earlier, but you kind of
just as a quick thing. I believe you actually. I don't think that you're hiding or lying about anything. But I guess like the thing that is kind of weird to me about all of the stories that circulate about me is it's kind of frustrating that people are like, oh, why Destiny dox this guy? And it's like, why? And it's like, because he hates being criticized. It's like, well, no, I think it's because there's like a ton of insane fucked up shit that is happening in these communities, that these communities like seem to be bragging about being a part of. And it seems like the only thing that all these communities are obsessed with is like trying to destroy me like as much as humanly fucking possible. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, there's nothing. I guess as evidence of this, I don't think there's anything bad in this. You can read this one on stream, I guess, if you want. Because after Solo was leaking all my shit, he was DMing me and chatting with me. But, like, that's kind of crazy that President Sunday is just, like, mining this guy for information about me. Like, what the fuck am I, like, how am I supposed to, you can pose this one too, I guess, if you want. Careful, because at some point he starts sending President Sunday, like, giant black dicks. I don't think it's on this combo, so.